So Tim Brando saying so long for the moment. Let's get out to Jordan Hare, Auburn, waiting in the wings.
Thanks so much, Tim Brando. You know, when a youngster makes up his mind to sign with an Auburn or a Florida State, it's nights like this that help him make that decision. Two members of the nation's top 10. A game with national title hopes on the line. It's the 7th-ranked Seminoles against the 5th-ranked Tigers. It's a Saturday of survival for two teams with designs on a college football championship. Over the last 3 seasons, no team has come closer to a national title than Florida State. In 1990, Bobby Bowden's Seminoles are knocking on the door again. The Pat-Dye decade at Auburn has been one of sheer excellence, but now the Tigers hope to finally claw their way to the top. Both teams have suffered a jolt on the road to number 1. Now nothing less than perfection will do, or the journey comes to an end. Stadium in Auburn, Alabama, on this Elimination Saturday in college football. Let's show you what has happened with the AP Top 10 so far today. Number 1, Virginia has won. Miami has been upset. Tennessee has been upset. Nebraska wins. Of course, Auburn and Florida State here tonight. Number 6, Notre Dame will move up. Illinois is victorious. Houston wins. And Michigan has been upset by Iowa today. Hello, everybody. I'm Ron Franklin, and welcome into an absolutely super college football night again here on ESPN. With the games we've been having on the Saturday night primetime telecast, it kind of reminds me of the old radio broadcaster that used to cup his hand over his ear and say, and the hits just keep on coming, because that's the way it's been, and tonight should be no exception. We've got two clubs that were dominant in the decade of the 80s, but the one thing that eluded both of these ball clubs was a national championship. Gary Danielson joins me again on the telecast tonight. And Gary, by golly, what's going to happen is whoever loses this tonight is going to be saying, get them next year as far as a national title.
No doubt about it, Ron. You know, Florida State, though, a little younger, and I think they'll be a better football team next year than they are this year. But they were shocked into reality last week when they faced Miami. And really the feeling down at Florida State was they lost a little poise, and Bobby Bowden took care of that. Looks to me like he's looking for a couple guys to step forward and be the couple leaders, and he's going to need more than just a couple if he can do it in this place tonight down here in Auburn.
You know, one of the things, leadership is not a problem for Auburn University. They have senior people in key positions, and one of the things for the Seminoles is they have some young people in some key positions.
Well, this Auburn team, a lot of veterans, good senior leadership. They've won 3 straight SEC championships. But the word down here all week is they don't remember that. They remember losing 3 state times to Florida State. And in the back of their mind, they remember the end of last game when they were taunted a bit. And they will be very focused, and they'll be ready to lay some leather on everybody tonight.
Well, it is the second year of a 10-year contract between these two clubs. ESPN's College Football Saturday, Florida State versus Auburn, is brought to you by Northwest Airlines, committed to getting you there on time. By LA Gear, unstoppable in performance fashion footwear. And by Thrifty Car Rental, because it's your money. Call 1-800 for cars or your travel consultant. Jordan Hare Stadium filled to capacity, and down on the stadium floor, the visitors from Tallahassee, Florida. Here come the Seminoles. And here comes Auburn. glad to welcome to the telecast tonight down on the field level. Let's go to Kevin Kiley.
Thank you, Ron. An unbelievable crowd down here at 51-year-old Jordan-Hare Stadium. A definite home field advantage. Only 8 times in Pat Dye's 10 years have the Tigers lost here. It's a very special place to Auburn players, past and present.
And no matter what the coaches did to prepare, or no matter what you've done all your life, it's like being born again. I mean, I guess a Christian would say it's the most memorable experience of his life. That's what you feel when you go through a Jordan-Hare thing. It's like starting all over. No matter what you learn about pressure, and no matter what you learn about crowd noise, it all just blanks out. You feel like you're in the best place in the world. And you love that atmosphere.
The intensity down here is incredible. Only one time in the last 20 games has Auburn lost the game here. Who was it to? The Road Warriors of Bobby Bowden, Florida State in 1987. It is absolutely jumping in this joint. Ron, back to you.
Okay, Kevin Kiley, thanks so much. There he is, the head of the Road Warriors, Bobby Bowden. His road record, 58 wins, 67, almost 68% since coming to Tallahassee, Florida as the head coach. And on the other side of the field, the former Georgia Bulldog in his 10th year, now at Auburn, 85, 25-3, a winning percentage, 76.8. They are standing at Jordan-Hare, and for a goodly part of the evening, don't be surprised if they never sit. Florida State will kick off to Auburn. Richie Andrews, a senior from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 5'11", 165 pounds. Herbert Casey, Alex Smith, and Pedro Cherry are the 3 deep men for the Auburn Tigers. Casey, number 20, in the middle. He is a sophomore from Foley, Alabama, averaging almost 28 yards per return. Tickets in this stadium for the students is first come, first served. 2.5 hours ago, when the gates were opened, they came storming in, and they have not been sitting and not quiet since. Here's the kickoff. And now for tonight's die-hard starting lineup. At quarterback, the redshirt freshman from Birmingham, Stan White. Tony Richardson, also a freshman, and James Joseph, the running backs. The wide receivers, Greg Taylor and Shane Wasden. The tight end is Victor Hall. Up front, and they're good ones, all of them. Bob Meeks is the center. The 2 guards, All-American Ed King and Tim Tillman. At the tackles, Wayne Gandy and Rob Selby. White throws on first down, has Wasden complete at the 26. Defensively, the starters for Florida State, Joe Ostazuski at nose guard. The tackles are McIntosh and Troy Sanders. The outside backers, Anthony Moss and Howard Dinkins. Marvin Jones, he is a great young freshman, and Kirk Carruthers, the inside backers. At the corners, Errol McCorvey and Terrell Buckley. And Bill Riggins and John Davis are the safeties. Greg Taylor to the 28-yard line. Well, I have to say I'm a tad surprised that Auburn comes out throwing the football. They haven't tested run at all, have they?
The word was all week by all the experts that are supposed to say it was, well, they'll come out and just try to run. Miami ran for over almost 350 yards the last game. Florida State teed it up, and all of a sudden Auburn comes out, throws 2 passes.
That's that old thing when you got a good horse riding.
He loves Stan White.
There's your first run. James Joseph cuts it back to the right and out to the 33-yard line. Defensively, Marvin Jones from that strong inside linebacking position.
Well, if they're successful throwing the ball early, Ron, that'll just open up those holes, as you know, and they will be successful running the ball. All week, Florida State worried about stopping the run, and he comes out and throws 2 passes. I like the game plan so far.
1,275 yards. That's second in the Southeastern Conference. Joseph, and this time there is nothing doing. Marvin Jones, number 55, one of the first men to come up and make the stick.
That time, Auburn went a little bit unbalanced line, and they're going to try to run the ball at this man, Kirk Brothers, a preseason All-American pick in some people's minds. Had some tough times earlier this year, but he weaved through everybody and made the stop on that. Kirk from East Lansing, Michigan, goes about 205, and everybody thinks we're going to run the ball at Kirk. Let's see if we can up to the task tonight.
It was Dinkins that jumped for a moment, got back on time. Joseph can't turn the corner, and he's going to be knocked down for a loss. Anthony Moss is the guy who turned the play inside, and that's excellent defense by the Seminoles. And now it will be 3rd down, and for Auburn, they need the 43 and a half.
That time, Florida State put an 8-man front on them. It's a version of the Bear defense. They put their 2 linebackers out wide. They're going to crash in and try to blow up that running game with 2 wide linebackers.
44% this season on 3rd down conversions for the Tigers. Draw play to Joseph, puts a head down, and with that, still not going to have the first down. It's Kirk Carruthers, who he challenged and did not win.
One of the things I don't think Pat Dye wants to do, he'd like to open up this ball game, but I don't think he wants to make an early mistake and give the game to Florida State. That was 3rd and long. He called a little bit of a conservative play, a draw. He'll punt the ball and see the way Florida State wants to handle it.
Richie Nell with his 18th punt of the season. Florida State had pressure on him. This is Buckley. Fair catch at the 24-yard line. The starters for the Seminoles, Brad Johnson out of Black Mountain, North Carolina, quarterback. He'll have Ampley and Edgar Bennett behind him at the running back spot. Shannon Baker and Lawrence Dawsey, the wide receivers. The tight end, Dave Roberts. Up front, Robbie Baker is the center. The guards, Hayward Haynes and Robert Stevenson, and the tackles, Reggie Dixon and Kevin Mancini. Virtually the same offensive group that started against Auburn last year. Bennett, and boy, does he get whacked down by Crawford and also Ramsey. Here are the starters for the Tigers defensively. Walter Tate is the nose guard. The defensive tackles, Fernando Harn is starting tonight along with David Rocker. Larry Young and Ricky Sutton, the outside backers. At the inside, Harrigan Cunningham and Darrell Crawford. The cornerbacks, Eric Ramsey and Corey Barlow. And the safeties, Dennis Wallace and John Wiley. Florida State keeps the ball on the ground, and the junior out of Jacksonville takes it forward to around the 32. Cunningham and Tate combining.
Florida State is trying to be a little bit more diversified in their attack. They're trying to get it to their backs, to their tight ends. One of the things that Wayne Hall, defensive coordinator for Auburn, said, though, is they're throwing a little bit more than usual. He suspected they would change up for them, though, and try to run the ball, and he's right so far.
Seminoles need 2. Bennett very close. I don't think he got it. Barlow is the man who made the really fine one-on-one hit in the flat. And from where they've marked it, he'll miss it by a half yard.
This was 3rd and short, Ron, and what Florida State tried to do was to take this man right here, the tight end, and come in and kick for the fullback out into the flat. Watch the play. He'll come in and pick. Watch it get in the way. But the other pursuit, Auburn was in a zone and got away with a good defensive call.
Flag has been thrown. Overton makes the fair catch. Back at the 26. The marker came from the Auburn end of the field down toward the secondary. Wasden making the fair catch, and now the discussion goes on, and Florida State players jumping up and down. That penalty is going to bring a first down for the Seminoles, so the offensive team will be back on the field. And I think that right now Pat Dye does not understand what that call was.
From as upset as he is, obviously it's got to be a first down call, and it was thrown really far back in the secondary also.
Yards stepped off against Auburn, and here comes the call.
Illegal participation. Defense. 12 men on the field. First down.
12 men on the field. Oh my goodness.
When we were here for the Tennessee game, remember they had all those penalties early in the game, jumping off sides, men in motion. Those are the type of penalties, a substitution penalty that you just really is uncalled for, because you're going to get the other penalties as the game goes on.
Intercepted. Crawford. Flag has been thrown at the 34-yard line after the interception, and it would appear that Auburn will be called for the clip, but the Tigers will have the football.
This ball was intended for Lawrence Dawsey. A little play-action pass to hold the linebackers. There you see him. He comes up. He tries to find the hole in the zone, but Crawford reads the eyes and watch him back into it. That's a ball that Johnson never saw the linebacker. He looks, he makes a sure throw, he thinks, and all of a sudden there's a line. Oh, wrong color. Uh-oh. Well, you got to tiptoe to the defense, the sideline and say, Coach, I'm sorry I never saw that guy. He says, what do you mean? He's got a blue shirt on.
6 interceptions for the Auburn Tigers this year. That's the first for Darryl Crawford. Joseph puts a head down and takes it out to the 30-yard line. 55, you see Marvin Jones and also Leon Fowler, sophomore from Fort Myers, Florida, the free safety, coming up to help out on the tackle.
James Joseph is healthy. He's had a bad knee. He's come back. They feel that he's ready to run tonight. He's an emotional leader of this football team. And when he runs well, this Auburn football team is very, very tough to defend.
That's 5 carries for Joseph now for 18 yards. War Eagle.
Fair front, 8-man front.
Hit from behind. Ball is loose. Recovered. Nope, they're going to say incomplete pass.
Whoa.
Howard Dinkins is the man who started the collision.
I don't know if Stan White and Shane Wadston was on the same page here. He called an audible against the 8-man front, but he took a very deep drop, and Shane was running a 5-yard out. Look at him, look. He only has 2 people going out for the pass, and Shane only went out about 6 yards on that play as if he thought it was a quick out audible. A little bit of a mix-up on that play.
Joseph at the 3rd and 4. Oh, what an open field hit, and that's Marvin Jones.
Ooh.
Folks, this kid is a freshman from Miami. 68 tackles, 6 tackles for losses, and here's a real good example why. Whoa, what a play.
Runs a 4.5 40. A true freshman. He just out of high school last year, and he met it head on. This is big-time football. He's a big-time player.
Now with the second punt, his first good for 36, and this one is end over end. Good return ball for Buckley. And he will be stopped at the 41, maybe the 42. Roy Hunter on the special teams. No score. 8:32 left first period.
Kick 31 yards.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Florida State versus Auburn, is brought to you by Tempstar Furnaces. You can rely on the star. And by Chevy Trucks. More people are winning with the heartbeat of America. Ron Franklin along with Gary Danielson and Kevin Kiley, Auburn, Alabama. And you remember what we told you a couple of weeks ago, in case you missed the telecast. That is for the people being held hostage in Iraq. And it will stay there until they have been released. Amp Lee tries to turn it outside. John Wilson, a senior from Haleyville, Alabama, comes up to make the stop defensively.
You know, one of the trademarks of an Auburn defense, Ron, is that they substitute early, and they already have. They've got John Wilson in, Richard Shea, number 93, the nose guard has rotated in, and number 51, James Willis, has rotated in. They attempt to keep their people fresh. They want to win this game, if they have to, be fresh in the fourth quarter.
Good point, and it worked well against Tennessee.
Sure did.
Short drop this time, tipped, and Baker catches it, but he was out of bounds.
Oh. That was close.
Corey Barlow tipped the ball.
Barlow made a nice break on this ball. It was just a quick out. He read the quarterback's drop, and had this ball been thrown very, very accurately, it was a little high, he might have had a play on him. But he's backing. Whoa. That one's a little close either way. Watching, Obo's got his hand on it, and a nice concentration. He's even thinking about keeping his feet in.
Well, he had his feet, it was his backside. They didn't come down first.
His backside did hit down first.
That's right,
I think he was out of bounds.
That's a good call. Lee of a quick screen pass, and he is not going to have it. They circled him out of the backfield. He'll be to the 49. Barlow and James Willis combining to the stop, and you could see just how far the Seminoles have to go.
I think that was one of the situations where Bobby Bowden said, all right, we want to throw the ball, but we don't want to make a mistake here. Let's punt the ball. Our defense is playing good football.
Scotty McLaren, sophomore from Griffin, Georgia. This punt's not going to turn over. In fact, a tough one to catch, and a free fair catch is made by Shane Wasden. No score. Just over 7 minutes to play in this first quarter. Florida State and Auburn, no score, just over 7 minutes to play in this opening quarter. Well, the Road Warriors, we talked about the record under Bobby Bowden, 5-1 at LSU, 4-2 at Nebraska, 2-0 at Ohio State, 1-0 at Notre Dame. And of course, when Bobby came to Tallahassee, it was a situation where he was trying to get a program going.
He actually
Look at this. More games he has played away than at home. 83% at home, 68% on the road.
From where he came, he built the program by winning on the road.
Richardson gets the handoff and immediately gets Marvin Jones.
Guess who?
Boy.
This guy just has a taste for the football. He reads the triangle of the guards and the ball carrier very quickly, and he just fills, and he fills with strength. He keeps his feet moving, and he just puts his hat right on there. I mean, this guy played high school ball last year, Ron. How would you like your son playing against this guy last year in high school?
It was a picture-perfect tackle. His legs were coiled, and then he just sprung. Stacy Dandler breaks it for a short opening out over the 15-yard line.
That was nice. He had nice patience with the hole that time. That's what Danley does. He's a senior. He's been in a lot of big football games. 1988 All-SEC. There you see him 6th all time. There's some big names in front of him, the 1 through 5. He just very patient and hit the hole and had a nice positive play. It was to the safety.
Florida State defensively, before Miami, 117 yards a game versus Miami, 344 as far as the rush. Zips it over the middle, incomplete. Wanted Victor Hall. Florida State stands to get really good field position out of this, unless Richie Nell can boom one.
Well, Stan White is just a beauty to watch throw the ball. He gets it out of his hand so quickly. When you say zip, I think that's perfectly how he throws it. That's just how it looks. It's zip, it's gone. That time, though, he threw it so hard. The tight end was only about 5 or 6 yards away that there was no time to react to it.
Well, you see the numbers on Buckley. You don't want to give him too much of a line drive kick, or he can do something with it in a hurry. This is a good coverage kick. Very high, wobbly spiral. And the ball is fumbled, and Baxter recovers for Auburn at the 45. Make it Al Nash, number 58, rather than 85.
When we talked to the Florida State coaches, they wanted to get out of this first quarter without a big turnover, and already it's happened. I mean, he just flat out dropped it. It was great coverage, but it was a high kick. Just very routine, just went right through his hands.
Baxter did get on it first, but it looks as though Nash has been given credit for the recovery. Danley finds a crease and takes it down close to the 40-yard line. That's going to be a gain of 5.5, maybe 6. Marvin Jones tripped him up.
You can see it in his eyes. I mean, the intensity's there. There's no hype. There's no cheering. He expects to gain 5 or 6 yards. He's patient. He runs through it. He makes the play happen. He gets what he expects out of the play.
Now, he's been injured during the early part of the season. Finally, almost 100%. They use him again, and it's close to the Auburn first down at the Florida State 36. Marvin Jones is going for double figures in the first quarter, and we have a marker thrown down at the 25 in the secondary.
Well, the play was between, yes, the play was between Greg Taylor and Earl McCorvey. And Taylor came and threw on him, and there was a retaliation type play.
Let me make a point that we talked about in the opening of this telecast. Bobby Bowden was extremely upset, and you saw the video of him on the sideline in Miami, and he said they did not play with poise, and already.
Football foul. Personal foul. Defense. Automatic first down.
You're right. When he was yelling at his players, it wasn't excellent. Here's the replay right here. Greg Taylor, if you play for Auburn, you got to go down and block. And I'm sorry, that's the way it is, big-time football. Guys are going to throw at you. He didn't hurt you, and he's got to step on him. That's silly. Very silly.
Official, the linesman coming in from the far side. Players did not hear it, as it is terribly noisy in this stadium. So it is no play, and they will line up and do it again. But to complete my point, is Coach Bowden was not pleased with the lack of poise that Florida State played with against the Hurricanes. And so far tonight, they have opened it up with the fumbled punt, which was a tough one. Remember, I said it was a wobbly spiral, but still, he just dropped it. And now a 15-yard meaningless penalty.
You know what else hurts is that when you're making mistakes like this, when you're the young team, some of your key players, Brad Johnson and some of you guys you're counting on making mistakes, even magnifies the mistake.
Danley breaks up one tackle, fighting his way, still on his feet inside the 15.
Boy, Danley takes this one in here. This is such an emotional lift for your teammates. When you take it up inside, the line's just coming up. It's coming across. They just a little trap block, and he just hits the hole. And he keeps those legs and feet moving, and he runs, and he pushes, and he doesn't wait for a whistle. He just keeps running. What effort. The whole bench just exploded on the play.
That's 4 carries for him for 23. It is a second down as Joseph comes back in. Auburn needs 4. Richardson. The 5.5-yard line. Buckley pushes him out.
Tony Richardson, the fullback, is another true freshman, and he bounces this one outside. Keeps his hands up. Look at him shift the ball over so he gets straight arm right there. That's a freshman doing that. That's a well-coached football player shifting it so he can take care of his hands.
If 62 Troy Sanders had not tripped him up, he would have turned the corner sooner. He might have gotten to the end zone.
He would have been full speed quicker. You're right, Ron.
Richardson, he'll score. He is a freshman from Dalyville, Alabama. It's his third touchdown. John Bonwell sends it right down Broadway, and it's Auburn 7-0.
Pat Dye comes right back to the freshman back right here. Turns, spins, nothing fancy about this. Good block there by the tight end, Fred Baxter. They like that guy, only a sophomore, and he just walks into the end zone.
So with 3:34 left in the opening period, the Tigers strike first. Auburn takes advantage of the turnover. They go on top, 7-0. Gary?
Ron, every time a ball is run near the goal line, someone comes up with a good block. This time it's the reserve tight end, Fred Baxter. He's going to seal it in here and allow Richardson to bounce it outside for the touchdown. That's what you got to get on the goal line. You got to get somebody. This time Richardson lines up in the backfield and makes the key block and walk into the end.
Kickoff taken by Baker, and a flag comes down as he was hit very close to the sideline at the 27.
Here it is one more time. Baxter's on your left. He seals it down, and that makes it easy for Richardson just to bounce outside. Very, very nice. Good looking back, isn't he, Ron?
He really is, considering the fact that...
And how about what Pat Dye liked about him? When he talked about it, he said, I love the way the kid blocks.
We've already highlighted. Good heavens. I hate the soap bill on that tomorrow. You know, the two freshmen tonight, we've talked so much about the youngster from Florida State, Marvin Jones, and we see Richardson here, also a freshman fresh out of high school. Bennett. He won't get back to the line of scrimmage. Ricky Sutton was the first man to make penetration. Then Fernando Horn, submarine.
Actually, Fernando Horn, you were right, got through there with some penetration and made him stop a little bit, and everybody cleaned up. The senior, Fernando Horn, playing because Lamar Rogers, a guy they love, also is out this game. Defensive right tackle.
About to go under 3 minutes to play. Opening quarter, if you just joined us, 7-0. Auburn Tigers. Buckley fumbled a punt. Auburn took advantage and scored immediately. Flags go down. Movement on the right side of the line. I think you could see, I believe, Reggie Dixon come out of his stance, or Mancini, just before the ball was popped.
Ron, Florida State practiced with sound. Let's listen up to the call here. But I don't think you can simulate noise like this anywhere. Dawsey's going to come in motion on this play, and I think there was a big mix-up in the play because he is right behind the center. Watch him come in motion right here, and now watch when this ball is snapped. That's just a crowd noise penalty right there. Give the credit to 85,000 people on that play.
That's 3 penalties against the Seminoles for 34 yards as Dixon came out of the stance just a little early. Second down, and the Seminoles need the 25. Draw play. Ampley takes it out to the 15. And now it's going to be 3rd down and 10 as Mike Campbell came up defensively.
Right now they have to be careful. This is a tough situation. They do not want to make another mistake early in this football game. You know, something conservative here, maybe get 6, 7, 8 yards and punt the ball will be somewhat of a success.
The reason for the reaction is the Seminoles have just started their war chant. And
do they ever stop?
The Auburn crowd, every time it comes up, this has been going on since an hour and a half before the game, they boo. Looks for Dawson. Has it complete, almost broke off the last tackle. He'll be stopped short by 4 yards. Barlow got it.
Well, that was the strategy. Throw it short and hope he can run for the first down, but good tackling in that Auburn secondary. Dawsey can really run with that ball after he catches it, so the secondary for Auburn has to tackle well tonight.
kick from Wimberley. This is Wisden. Straight up the middle, and Auburn will scrimmage in Florida State territory again. ESPN's regular season coverage of the National Football League kicks off on Sunday, November the 11th. That's when the four-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco 49ers take on the Dallas Cowboys. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann. Be sure and join the guys for all the action, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. That's on November the 11th. 1:10 left in this opening quarter. Auburn with a touchdown following a Florida State mistake. And right now with excellent field position. Well, the groan of the crowd told you what happened right there. A mistake. You know, we've had a lot of individual conversations in this ballgame. We're not through the first quarter yet.
Yeah, I think that, you know, some teams have, you know, role players that cover, and some teams have
Illegal motion on the offense.
Role receivers and role runners. For at Florida State, you have role talkers. You know, there's a few guys when you just have to take over the mantle that Deion Sanders left right here, and there's some talking going on in this game. I'm sure it's been mentioned that it's the last 3 games. It's 3-0 Seminole.
New line of scrimmage, the Auburn 48. James Joseph, the lone setback. White has it complete at the 45 to Greg Taylor.
Well, this was a throw that he was basically covered, and he just rips it out there again. The kid can just watch how smooth he is on his feet, how light, nice. He gathers himself, and he just rips it out. Puts a little touch on this one, right over the underneath coverage and right underneath the back coverage. What a nice throw. He's got a little chemistry going now with that guy, Greg Taylor and Stan White. I mean, they feel each other. They know where each other's going with it.
Stacey Danley in the ball game gets the carry. Great defense is Terrell Buckley, who got picked on just a moment ago, comes up big in this play. And it's going to be a 3rd down situation for the Tigers, and they look toward the Florida State 37 if they want to keep the drive going.
That short side corner gets in the backfield many times when you got split the other way, and Buckley's as good at it as anybody is. He's a real tough customer, and he doesn't mind sticking his nose in there.
He's only a sophomore out of Pascagoula, Mississippi, down on the Gulf Coast.
They don't have enough players out there. Yep, there's the timeout.
And you know, first of all, it was Stacey Danley who was looking around and hollered at his quarterback to say, Stan, I only see 10. This ball club's tough enough to play with 11.
Yeah, that's what, you know, they had some problems against Tennessee the same way in substitution. When you run a sophisticated offense, they're using 4 wideouts, 3 wideouts, 2 tight ends. Substitution always is there you look at Pat Sullivan with Coach Dye. That's a tough job. Pat has to stand next to Pat Dye the whole game. Now you know that he's going to get yelled at every time something goes wrong, whether it's not Pat's fault or not. He's got to hear it. The closest guy to the coach is going to hear it all night.
Well, James Joseph had this to say about playing the Seminoles from Florida State.
Couldn't ask for a better situation. To come into this game in the national picture to win it all, and knowing we got to go through Florida State, which is one of the best teams in the country. And the fact that we haven't beaten them in a while, that also means that that's a sentimental value as far as the seniors are concerned. Because this is the last shot we get at them, and we got them at home, and we don't want to waste that opportunity.
And that's the point. One of the things that Gary talked about in the opening of the telecast tonight, as well as Auburn has done against so many teams independently and also in a conference, this is a club that some seniors have not beaten. They don't want to leave school that way. White intercepted. McCorvey takes it back across the 45 and close to the 50-yard line as blocking continues downfield and the officials have to separate them.
Sometimes when you have confidence in your arm, it can backfire. This time he tried the same pass he tried earlier. Little play action pass, and he was going to throw it between the 2 zones. It's not really a bad read. He's going to go to this guy. He's going to come out and back. But this corner right here drops back and gets the throw. It's one of those times when you're a quarterback, you start to believe you can do anything with the football. And he throws it, it just doesn't get it high enough.
Casey Weldon in the ball game at quarterback, and movement along the Florida State line. And Reggie Johnson moved before the snap, couldn't get back. Now he is a tight end and can reestablish, but what happened is Weldon continued to count, and the snap came at that time, so he didn't have the full count.
He was in motion at the snap.
That's right.
Casey Weldon is the junior. He was in a battle with Brad Johnson for the starting spot. We talked to Coach Bowden. He says one thing Casey does is look downfield a little bit more. Even though they're running this San Francisco offense, he would like to get the ball downfield a little bit more. Casey so far this year is 24 for 40, so he has gotten him some action. It's not like this is the first time he's played this year.
Shannon Baker in at wide receiver, comes wide to the right. Has it complete to Dawson inside the 40 and down to the 37-yard line. Check it, it's Bennett, I beg your pardon, 22. What a great catch over the shoulder. That's good for 20 yards.
Left tackle Reggie Dixon picked up a nice stun here. It allowed Casey Weldon the time to throw downfield. Watch him. He pops up, and then he takes the man as they turn, as they switch, and he keeps his feet moving. This is called screen blocking. Here's the nice throw. He had some people open short, but he waited on the play. Oh, what a nice play. Turns around and catches the ball going away from his body.
Weldon has come back from under center because the clock has gone to triple zeros, and that is the end of the first quarter with our score: Auburn 7 and Florida State nothing. Back in Auburn, Alabama, 7-0. We have had two great games earlier today. Iowa upsets Michigan, winning by 1. And then in our second game of this triple header, as the clock ran out, Alabama winning over Tennessee to upset the number 3 ranked team in the nation. And Lee going to be pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line. Casey Weldon, he's a junior from Tallahassee. And one of the things that Bobby Bowden told us on Thursday as we visited with him on Thursday morning is that Casey continues to push as far as pressure on that on the starter, Brad Johnson.
Well, it's a lovely situation for a coach. I don't know if it's such a great deal for Brad Johnson, but you can feel when a guy's pushing you. You see it in practice. You can see the coach's eyes. I mean, they like what he's doing. It's a very tough situation, you know, and Brad gets off to a tough start and he makes the change.
Breaks it across the 25, and he's down to the 23. That's more than enough for the Seminole first down. Last year, he rushed for over 100 against Auburn.
Nice job here by Howard Haynes and Reggie Dixon and Bobby Blake, the center, left guard, and left tackle. But watch Amp Lee, how he runs low and his eyes are moving. He says he's got great peripheral vision. He sees the field, keeps his knees moving. Nothing real flashy about Amp Lee, just a lot of positive yards.
5 carries for him for 27 yards as the boos go up because of the Seminole chant. I'll tell you, earlier today, I know this is Auburn, but when Alabama defeated Tennessee, knocking them into giving them a loss, you should have heard the roar that went up here. All of a sudden, they were for the Crimson Tide. Weldon fires it long into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted by Ramsey, but he was out of the back of the end zone.
This was very, very nice defense by Auburn. They patterned red. They were in a zone. They had somebody that right there where he wanted to throw it short. So now I'll tell you right now what Casey's going to tell the coach. Coach, I was throwing this out of bounds. No problem. I knew I had it just far enough to get it out of bounds where either my guy gets it or nobody gets it. You got to have all those answers, Ron. As you go to the sideline, if you get to stay in this league and play a long time, you got to have a lot of answers and excuses. You just can't be a good thrower. You got to have good answers.
You got to give Baker credit. If he doesn't fight for the football, that would have been an interception in back. Flags go down, and you can see the movement. Again, it's Reggie Dixon. As Reggie came out of his stance just a half count before the ball was snapped. A Kev, I'll tell you something that happened on the play. Just the Seminole War Chant had just ended, and the Auburn band started to play. And quite frankly, Bobby might say something about that because the band's not supposed to be playing when they come to the line of scrimmage.
If I was Bobby, I wouldn't complain about anybody's band. If my band plays the whole game.
Weldon rolling the pocket, throws it complete at the 20-yard line, and still on his feet is Dawsey all the way down to the 18-yard line. Walter Tate finally finishes it.
Little sprint out action by Casey Weldon here. Comes out of the pocket and throws very nicely on the run. But it's Lawrence Dawsey that makes the play. Watch him run down. He stretches, turns inside, but watch him come back and make the play right on the sideline. Beautiful throw. And now this is what Dawsey can get you. Extra yards. He keeps running. He just doesn't go down like one of those little spindly wide receivers. He wants to make yards. The last of the Fab Four wide receivers. And he came
160
back.
yards against Miami last week, or 2 weeks ago. Going to run, breaks off a tackle, and he will have the first down at the 10-yard line.
Oh yeah, here we go. Yep, make a little fist action right there. I'm here. I'm ready to play. Now what Casey Weldon also gives him, Ron, is he's 4'6", 40. Brad does not run like him. Little play action pass, nobody's there. He knows he needs about 6 yards, and he takes it up. No time for sliding now. That's in the pros. He's got to turn and run. Stiff arm, climb, dive, get up, shake. Yeah.
John Wiley, number 9, is the man who finished it. They're going to run the reverse with Baker. Stretches it out. He's playing into Auburn's hands and still picks up 4.
Well, Shannon Baker, it looked like it was wide open for a second, but Corey Barlow, I'll tell you, he's a little embarrassed about the whole deal because he ran right back to him from behind here now. Nice little action, good fake. The line sells it up front, and here he comes. Look at all that green grass. Problem is, here's Corey Barlow. Come on, Corey, turn him in. Uh-oh.
Cunningham finished him off.
A little bit of a stiff arm. He pushes him by with his hand. Whoa, that's embarrassing. Never like that. If you're a DB, you're tough, but you want to hit people. You don't want to fall down.
And Florida State has called a timeout. Casey Weldon wants to go over and talk with Bobby Bowden on the far side. So let's go down to the sideline and hear from Kevin Kiley. Kev.
All right, Ron, just in case you're wondering about the Florida State support in 85,000 seat stadium for Auburn here, his Mrs. Ann Bowden, Bobby's wife. Ann, how many family members did you bring to this game?
Gee, listen, I don't know. They come out of the woodwork for these games.
I understand there's 75 members of Bobby Bowden's family in the stands. Bobby's from Mobile, Alabama, so he's right at home.
Well, we're from Birmingham, actually, but I think we've got people here. We're not sure whether they're our relatives or not.
All right. All right, back to you, Ron.
Thanks, Kev. You know, Bobby told us on Thursday, he said there are a lot of teams that the alumni want us to beat. One is Florida, the other is Miami. Not necessarily in that order because they want to win the state championship, but he said this one here is as big or bigger to me because I don't want to have to listen to my relatives the rest of the year. Drive started back at the 42. They have consumed just over 3 minutes and covered 53 yards. Second and goal. Weldon wants Bennett, finds nobody. Roberts is the intended receiver. He wanted Bennett in the corner of the end zone.
Nice job by Casey again. Threw it out of there. Let's have a chance at least at third down play. A little bit of a mix-up on the pattern, though. Roberts and Reggie Johnson, both tight ends, were in the same area. Had one of them cleared out a little bit, he might have had somebody to throw the ball to.
So the situation, 7-0 ball game as Casey Weldon 2 of 4, 29 yards. Auburn leads 7-0, and the Seminoles with the third and goal, 5.5 yards away. Quick pass incomplete as it hit Dawsey in the hands, and he got bumped and he couldn't hold on.
This is the same play, Ron, that they scored against Miami with. They're going to bring Dawsey underneath it, a la Jerry Rice from the San Francisco 49ers, and they have to hit him here. But look at all the traffic on this throw. He hit him all right, but there was a lot of people there, very crowded.
Richie Andrews, 6 of 7 in field goal attempts this year. And from 22 yards, he nails it. So Florida State on the scoreboard with 12:02 left until halftime. ESPN's College Football Saturday, Florida State versus Auburn, is brought to you by Oldsmobile. Stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Kevin Kiley. And it's wonderful to have you along on this Saturday night, the third Saturday in October. And as I mentioned, not only the two great games that we had earlier today, the upsets continued as Miami was bumped by Notre Dame today.
Well, Miami now is going to drop out of the national picture, and up steps Notre Dame again. You know, there's no doubt about that. Here they are. You think they're getting rid of them. They still have a tough schedule, but now at least they can control it themselves.
Richie Andrews, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, kicks it away. Pedro Cherry collides with Casey. Cherry winds up with it. Breaks by one tackler, and he'll bring it out to the 23-yard line. Keith Jones defensively. So the storyline of this one so far is we have 11:55 remaining until intermission time. Turnovers, Florida State 2 and Auburn with 1. Auburn with the 90-yard touchdown drive. Jones 6 tackles, 5 of those solo. Penalty yards, it's been big against the Seminoles. 42 yards, and now Auburn with a total of 37. And the early going in the last 3 times they have played has been the demise of the Auburn Tigers. They've dug a big hole and couldn't climb back out.
The last 3 losses, they turned the ball over in the first half. You're right.
Danley hit at the line of scrimmage, and that is Joe Ostazuski pushing him back for no gain as the ball is loose. And you can see the official pointing to the turf, which means ball is dead here, but it's going to be a loss of 1.
Well, Ostazuski just laid one on him right there. The nose guard ran around and just put it on him. I think just as much a storyline, though, Ron, is that Florida State survived that early stage fight that they had against Miami. I got to believe Bobby Bowden is absolutely thrilled to be in this game. They're down 7-3, but he has to feel he's in the lead because he's in the game.
That's a good point. And we had mentioned that they had lost a little poise early, fumbling the ball and then getting a needless personal foul call. Rolls the pocket, almost intercepted at the 38-yard line. John White almost came up with it, the senior from Thomasville, Georgia.
There was the case again. Stan just believes in his arm. He throws the ball. He just thinks he can get the ball in those little spots. I like that, though, on a quarterback. I mean, you've got to live with a couple mistakes. Otherwise, this guy's not going to win it for you at the end of the game, and he did it against Tennessee.
Leading the Southeastern Conference in total offense, 225 yards per game. And Gary, let me ask you a question. The underneath coverage is trying to play some tricks with him, aren't they?
Oh, I think that's the way you stop a good passer. Stan has to be a little more patient.
Pressure right up the middle as they set screen. Joseph across the 26 to the 27, and it is not going to be nearly enough for the first down as Errol McCorvey defensively makes the play for the Seminoles.
Again, a situation where they weren't going to trust Stan with the ball. A little screen pass, the chance to pick it up 10, 12 yards on 3rd and 12. You know the other team's playing zone is not very good. They just wanted to punt the ball.
4th punt for Nell tonight. Across the 30 to the 33-34. Alex Thomas defensively on the special teams is there to make the stop.
Mark
Rick.
quarterback coach for Florida State. Back up to Jim Kelly at Miami back in the days, and he's in charge of, now it's Casey Weldon, but helping both of them over there. And good place to coach quarterbacks because you get to throw the ball a lot of fun. I think he might even have got word there that he was on TV. Did you see him smile for us right there? Hey, you're on TV there. Smile a little bit, Mark.
Now let's talk about the sequence of what they talk about as far as the relays.
Right. Bobby Bowden calls the plays, but he's hooked up to Mark Ritt and Brad Scott, the offensive line coach, and they do it a little bit and help Bobby call it, keep him apprised of down and distance tendencies.
Weldon with a handoff to Lee. Finds a little seam to the left side. And Amp will take it up close to the 39-yard line.
It's hard to knock Brad Johnson the season he's having. He's completing 67% of his passes, a respectable almost 7.5 yards per attempt. But Casey Weldon is adding a little bit something to this offense with his ability to scramble and look downfield. And he spreads them out just a little bit.
Play action by Weldon under all kind of pressure, but gets by it. Drills it complete to Baker. Caught inside the 35-yard line. There is a flag back at the 38-yard line, and it's a 21-yard gain, and now Florida State players are jubilant on the field.
Offside, defense, decline, first down.
Hayward Haynes is matched up here against David Rocker, the All-American from Auburn. Watch him move his feet, keep his butt in. But watch Casey Weldon move up in the pocket. And he isn't just satisfied now with dumping it off to one of these guys. He fires it, rockets it downfield. And look at that throw, right on the outside shoulder. Boy, that's nice. That's making something happen as a quarterback. You're real happy. You feel great now.
3 of 6, 50 yards for Weldon. That was Eric Ramsey, who gambled and went for the interception. Lee to the 24-yard line. Ramsey comes from that left cornerback spot to make the tackle, and all of a sudden, because of the mobility of Casey Weldon and the passing game improving, the running game all of a sudden has come alive.
One of the things Bobby Bowden said he was going to keep an eye on is plays that went for more than 4 yards when he runs the ball. Look at this. 9 out of 11 running plays have gone for more than 4 yards. That's bad news for the Auburn defense.
Short drop this time. Baker on the quick post, and he is inside the 15 to the 13. First down, Seminoles.
A lot of the alumni for Florida State was kind of questioning Bobby Bowden. Why are you playing the two quarterbacks in some of these early games? And he said he wanted to have both of them ready just for a game like this. You could just see Casey Weldon. He just feels it. The ball's coming out of his hand. He's not hesitating. He's going with his reads, and he's just delivering it. Actually looks like the Florida State offense from past years now, throwing the ball downfield instead of the short little stuff.
Seems like 11 in sync. You're right. Still looking. He's going to take it all the way to the corner, get what he can, and he's out of bounds at the 11. Cunningham was the closest man to it. Stopping the clock with 8:07 until halftime. 7-3 ball game. Auburn leading by 4. Florida State threatening.
Even though Casey Weldon made this look like a pass, this was run all the way. Look at the receivers. You can't catch the ball if you don't look back. There's Dawsey downfield throwing some block. Dawsey will hit you all night. A very aggressive player. It's a play in the playbook that they have for Casey Weldon.
Flag goes down. Now, did he get back, or is that offside against Florida State?
It looked like Horn got back, but then Rocker moved to me on the other side.
That's what Florida State is pointing, that it's going to be against Auburn. And that's the case.
Horn jumps, Rocker sees it out of the side of his eye, and he moves also. That guy, he's going to grab anybody he can right now. Coach, he's not happy with this. Watch, out of the side, out to the right side of your screen, somebody moves. Now watch Rocker, he's going to move. In the neutral zone.
has moved it to the 6-yard line. That's now 4 penalties against the Tigers for 42 yards. In the early going, it was Florida State that was plagued with the problem, and now it's the Tigers. Second down. They need the 3 for the first. To the 1-foot line. Darrell Crawford is down at the bottom of that stack someplace.
There you look at it as a linebacker. This is the problem. Nice block by Bennett here. Fullback gets his hat on somebody and opens up the whole little isolation play. Florida State's run this. On this play, look at it, just short of the first down. 2 Auburn players are hurt on this play. Dennis Wallace, number 30, is limping off. And there you see Dennis. And there's another player, Auburn player, down on the field. Did you call that one yet, Ron? Have we got an idea on that one?
Haven't gotten his number because the trainers were out so quickly.
Yes. Yeah, Darrell Crawford is, I think, who it is.
And you know, just a moment ago, Kerrigan Cunningham came limping off the field after he had been in pursuit of Weldon and had chased him out. It looked as though his leg was hurt. So on 2 plays, or within 3 plays, Auburn with some bruises on 3 defensive starters.
Nice job by Edgar Bennett right there. I mean, when you stop Florida State, you have to stop their isolation, their sprint draw type play. And Bennett, I mean, this guy, check what he's doing. He's the 2nd leading receiver on the team as a fullback. He blocks for those isolation plays, and he's averaging 6.3 yards a carry. That's good production out of your fullback.
So let's go to Tim Brando and get another update on college football today. Timmy.
This is an interesting game, fellas, largely because Mike Archer, if he's going to go 7-4, has to figure he needs this game in order to hang on to his job. The game being played at Tiger Stadium. It is 10-10. Harvey Williams coming back from really a disappointing start to the season with a 60-yard run. Al Baker, who seemingly has been at Kentucky for 10 years, he has a 30-yard touchdown run for the Wildcats. The score is now 10-10 with just 11 seconds left in the half. The game being played in Bayou Country. Let's get back out to Jordan-Hare Stadium now.
Thanks, Timmy. You talk about Mike Archer. Conversely, Bill Curry, I heard, made a statement about 3 weeks ago that he said he is more impatient than his alumni. He wants to win now. Let's go down to Kevin Kiley on the sideline.
All right, thank you, Ron. It was Darrell Crawford, number 56, a linebacker, took a blow to the head or the neck. He was a little groggy. I spoke to an official who was right on the scene, said he seems to be fine. He's coming around. Back up to you.
Crawford, who had an interception back early on in the first quarter, receiving quite an ovation as the fans excited that he is okay enough to come out under his own power. Our situation, should you have just joined us, clock is just back whistled in. Auburn 7-3, and the Seminoles with a 1st and goal a half-yard away. Lee, touchdown Florida State. Bennett, I beg your pardon, 22 rather than 42, and Bennett puts the Seminoles on top. Edgar Bennett, his 5th touchdown of the season, his 2nd rushing. He has 3 receiving passes. Richie Andrews knocks the extra point home, and the Florida State Seminoles on top by 3.
Well, Bennett gets the touchdown, but credit the offensive line. Look at him get down. Get down where the worms go and just keep the feet moving. If you can keep those feet moving through into the end zone, what you got to do as an offensive lineman is score yourself. Put your own stomach in the end zone, and you can get a touchdown.
Fifth touchdown of the year, and it is 10-7 Florida State with just over 7 minutes left to play until halftime. Richie Andrews prepares to kick it off. Number 20, Herbert Casey, sophomore from Foley, Alabama. He's the deep man for the Auburn Tigers. And right now, the momentum has shifted from what was a very strong momentum from Auburn early in the ball game over to the visitors from Tallahassee. Casey from the 12. Got a big opening. And the kicker, Andrews, submarined and knocks him down shy of the 50.
The kick was very high and short, and usually you don't get a great return on this. Look, he's going to catch this ball, about on the 13-yard line and real high. But look at that one. I could run through that one right there. And he kind of rushes it. He was a little patient right here. It looks like he almost gets too close to the block. He had an opportunity for another 8-10 yards.
40 yards officially on the return, and Auburn comes right back with great field position. Joseph straight ahead, and he takes some people with him as he goes inside the 45 to the 42. James, the senior, out of Phoenix City, not too far from here, 6'2", 225 pounds.
If you just look right there at the Miami University game plan that they used against Florida State for all those yards. Split them wide, run to the weak side of the formation, right at Kirk Carruthers, and run hard. And just get that guard on him and just hit the hole full speed. Look at that, 5 yards.
97 and 9 total yards this quarter. This time only about a yard in the play, and let's go back to Tim Brando.
Arizona and USC. USC punter Ron Dale back punting from his own end zone. Watch Darrell Lewis. He will take off and go 43 yards, finds a seam down the sideline. That would set up a Reggie McGill touchdown run, and Darrell Lewis has just picked off Todd Marinovich, so Arizona driving again, down by only 3. Let's get back to Ron and Governor.
10-7, Florida State leads. Just over 6 to play till halftime as Danley is coming to ball game, gets the call, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down at the 40 as Corian Freeman made the tackle. And instantly the special teams come on, and I don't mean the field goal unit because they're far out of range, and Richie Nell will have to punt it away. Very high kick. Buckley running toward it and makes the catch at the 21-yard line. Well, the student athlete of the game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. Tonight's recipient is Florida State defensive back Keith Jones. Keith is a finance major with a 3.57 grade point average. Keith Jones, our student athlete of the game, and congratulations to him.
Well, Auburn's offensive wheels have just fallen off, and this Florida State defense, you see number 45, Kirk Carruthers, on the right side of the screen right there. And Stan White is only 4 for 8 for 1 interception for 18 yards passing with 5 minutes left to go in the half. That is not the idea for a good game.
Weldon has come in. He's 4 of 7, 62 yards. They give it to Bennett straight ahead. Darrell Crawford, who was injured a moment ago, back in the ball game, and he's there defensively for the Auburn Tigers. Now let's talk about what Auburn has to do here, because I mentioned the fact that momentum seems to have shifted toward Florida State at this juncture.
Well, defensively, they have to find a way to corral Welburn now. He's given them a different look that they weren't ready for. Pat Dye has to get his guys tackling. They have to not let this guy get out of the pocket, because you can see what he's done. A couple big plays by getting out of the pocket and making something big downfield happen.
And Lee out of the backfield, good for the first down and about 7 more.
Wow, that was nice. There you look, taking a shot. Wayne Hall, the great defensive line coach for Auburn. It's turned out so many All-Americans right here at Auburn University. He's calling the shots. He has all the stats, all the tendencies, and he's trying to play with Bobby Bowden right now. What is he going to do? And it's hard to stay up with Bobby. I mean, he may call anything.
Total offense, his defensive team is 5th nationally, number 1 in the Southeastern Conference, and against the rush, they are number 2 in the conference, allowing just under 100 yards a game. Weldon to Bennett, and he will weave his way to around the 42 before Eric Ramsey puts a stopper on him.
Casey Weldon is going to look for Lawrence Dawsey downfield on a little curl route. There he is. He's not open. But watch what he does after this. Oh, decleats one guy, and then he's not done, Rhett. He goes for another guy, running out a little farther. Goes, yep, he gets another one. That's how you can be an All-American by doing that kind of stuff. Playing after somebody else gets the ball. That was impressive.
Third catch for Bennett tonight for 25 yards. Lee to the right side, cuts nicely off the block of Roberts, but he's going to be short of the first down by a couple as Ramsey finished him off. With a nice job by Roberts, the tight end, blocking downfield.
Ron, I mean, they've been keeping him off balance. I mean, this is a really, really nice offense they're rushing right now. And he's been keeping him off balance. I mean, we talked to the coaches. They expected this Florida State team to throw. Look at this. First down, 10 rushes, 4 passes. That's because they've been successful with it. I mean, they've been running the ball and having success. They're going to stick to it.
Crowd will let you know, third down, less than 2. Could tell by the silence of the Auburn backers right there in front of the student section. He got it, plus about a half yard. David Rockert and Darrell Crawford combining to the stop. And let's see from the spot. Yep, that's going to be enough for the Seminole first down.
One thing Brad Scott talked to us, the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator for Florida State, is that they were going to try to cut down the number of running plays they use the ones that they were successful with and they could practice and coach, and they're just running their basic stuff right now.
And that man in your picture there told us on Thursday, he said, heck, if I had my way, I'd put in 5 new plays a week.
Well, somebody's got to hold on to him a little bit. He can remember them. I don't know about everybody else.
Weldon, sensing the pressure, takes it forward for 2, now 3. James Willis took his feet out from under him.
You know, it's always nice. You come in as a backup quarterback, and if you don't make a couple of big mistakes early, you feel so confident. I mean, you got a lot of guys rooting for you. You're doing well. You say, oh, I'm out here. I get to play. It's so much fun. And he had some success early. Now he's going to be a farce the rest of this game. Right then, a little play-action pass. Had an opportunity to throw it. Nobody open. He gets up and gets a little something positive out of play where he either just thrown it away or maybe try to force it in.
Auburn with a player shaken up down on the field. So with 2 minutes and 14 seconds until halftime, we'll take a break. Be right back. James Willis is a freshman from Huntsville, Alabama. He was the gentleman who was shaken up. They were going underneath his shoulder pad on the right shoulder as if he had gotten a stinger.
Infamous stinger, right? That's the one no one has to explain what that feels like.
Anthony Judge comes into the lineup, so it'll be Judge and Crawford, the 2 middle backers for the Auburn Tigers. Situation, clock is running. 2 minutes left until halftime. Auburn trailing Florida State by 3. Weldon sets middle screen. Lee needs one block, and he's off to the races. He's going to score. His 6th touchdown of the year, his first passing, the rest have come on the ground. What a nice job by Casey Weldon of waiting until the last possible moment to get that one off.
Really nice job of faking the ball to Lee and a lot of nice patience to wait for him to get open. You're exactly right. Nobody gave away the screen too early, and that's the key to running a good screen. This is a staple of their offense. They either hand the ball to the tailback, they fake the ball to the tailback and throw downfield, and now the other thing they do off of it from the other side of the field is they fake to the look downfield now, take your time, and then float it in there for the screen pass. Oh man, that's so nice. Got 2 big guys out in front of you running, you just use your blockers and running. Amp showed me something there. I mean, they said he wasn't a sprinter, but he just ran away from some people there.
I don't know if it's the way Florida State sets it up or if it is Amp Lee, but watch. You saw him catch the ball on the run. So many backs catch it dead still and then have to start.
Perfect job of running the screen. If you catch it stopped, you have to regain momentum. Fire downfield. These guys work. Screen block. That's all you do. Stay in front of somebody. Then the runner can cut off of you. And Ron, I mean, you're exactly right in what you say, and that's a perfect coaching point. So many screens, a guy catches is just standing there, and everybody else is moving, and it's, you know, it's hard to start up. He was really under control, hit a little bit, and then got out in the play.
78 yards, 7 plays, and that pass play, 48 yards, 3 minutes, 46 seconds. That's the length of time that it took. Now we have 1:40 left until halftime, and Auburn with a lot of time to work with, particularly with the passing offense that they have employed in throwing 38 passes a ball game.
Well, we're going to see another barn burner like last time we were here when Stan White just goes to the no huddle and takes over, maybe.
Herbert Casey. This time there is no avenue as he will not make the 20-yard line. Don't forget, coming up at a halftime, Tim Brando and Lee Corso will bring you up to date on this Saturday that has been another one of upsets. Highlights of that Miami-Notre Dame game and a live interview with Jim Wacker of the TCU Horned Frogs. Unbelievable is what Jim says. And also an update on the World Series. Can Cincinnati wrap it up in 4 straight? Who would have thought that?
Well, not the people in Oakland. I know. I'll tell you, not many people thought this would happen tonight. Florida State getting off like this in the first half.
You could see the pulling guard, but a nice job to the outside by McIntosh as King was in front of the play. But Joseph was knocked down quickly. And now the no-huddle offense, Gary, just what you suggested.
Well, he's good at it. He has a lot of great field presence, but they have to be more consistent with this team. And a little timeout by Florida State. Good call.
Florida State did not want to get caught up in the rush. So the Auburn Tigers tallied first in this ball game, but since then, Florida State 17 unanswered. I think Auburn needs something to take into the locker room with them here.
Well, this Auburn team has been inconsistent this year. They did not play a great half against Tennessee, a game they tied. And then against Louisiana Tech, they came back and had a chance to lose that game, but pulled it out. And tonight, they started out a little inconsistently. So let's see if Stan White can rescue him with the 2-minute offense that he did so well against Tennessee.
Joseph at the draw play runs over 99 Moss. That's enough for the Auburn first down +5.
Well, now they're in their comfort zone now. They have in a position where they can throw the ball. They're not backed up, so let's see how they go with it now. Stan's in charge.
10 carries for 43 yards for James Joseph. That's going to be a procedure call as the movement came just prior to the snap at Shane Wasden. He doesn't have to be told by the coaching staff. He is plenty disgusted with himself. You can believe that.
Well, coaches always say there's no excuse for a wide receiver to be offsides because he can't hear the snap count anyway. He just has to look in and watch the ball. Shane's looking in there. He's got his eyes on the ball, but oh, man. Nice little move, but a couple counts early.
Trying to get that quick jump on Buckley.
That Dye's got the tie undone. He's going to have to give one of those halftime talks again this week and get him fired up for this second half.
Auburn, 3 minutes, 39 seconds, ball control this quarter, which is not much. Joseph on the draw play. Some of the crowd not totally understanding of that call. Carruthers is there along with McIntosh to make the play defensively, and now Auburn, after the running play, goes with no huddle again.
Florida State playing very deep. Let's be careful, Stan. You don't need a turnover now.
Over the middle is Joseph. That's Carruthers who is riding him down, and he'll be short of the first down. Also Marvin Jones helped out on the stop. No first down, so the clock continues to move.
Whoa, it's 4th down.
4th down, just over a yard to go.
I don't know why they want to call timeout and punt. There you go. Pat doesn't want to call timeout either. If we could get some of the times what's happened in that situation, Ron, is one of the wide receivers called timeout. It's not even the quarterback. Everybody thinks there's an expert out there, and now they're going to be forced to punt the ball. That's a very disturbing situation. You know, your quarterback's looking at the coach is giving you some kind of hieroglyphic signals of what to do, and you have no idea what he means out there when you're standing out there. And all of a sudden, now they got to call timeout and punt the ball. Obviously, that's not what the coach wanted.
Florida State, though, is going to leave the defensive unit on the field rather than special teams. They're going to let them punt it away. They don't want to take a chance on a fake.
Well, with a 10-point lead, I don't blame him. I know Pat Dye feels good about that. I would like to see him come with a block here.
Richie Nell with the punt, and this one going to be like your best 9-iron. Will it stop in time? Inside the 5, and Baxter will down inside the 1-yard line.
Unfortunately, they're not going to get a chance to use the field position.
So Tim Brando will be coming up at a halftime to bring us up to date on what has happened in college football today. But right now, let's take a break. Florida State leads by 10.
Pat Dye neither wants to see, and that is Tiger on the menu so far. That has been it in the first 30 minutes. Just a moment ago, Kevin Kiley had a chance to talk with head coach Pat Dye.
Thank you very much, Ron. I'm down here on the sideline with Coach Pat Dye. Coach, the Tennessee game at halftime you trailed. You said you had to pull the guys out of the dumps. What'd you tell them now?
The Tennessee game was a lot different than tonight. I thought in the Tennessee game, you know, we controlled the ball 20 minutes in the first half. Florida State dominated the second quarter of the ball game, and I mean, on both sides of the football, they kept the ball away from us on offense. We didn't ever stop them, and that defense, I don't know if we made a first down till right before the half, maybe.
What'd you tell the kids?
It's not a lot. We can't, you know, you can't change your game plan. I mean, it's obvious that we got to play harder and play better. To me, the big difference in Florida State's first half is when they put Weldon in that quarterback, and he made some nice plays for him. He scrambled a couple of times and kept them alive, but we didn't play very well defensively in the first half, or offensively either.
All right, have a good second half, Coach. All right, Ron, back to you.
Thanks, Kevin. The difference has been Casey Weldon, 70% passing in the first half.
7 for 10, but it's the other things he did. It was his ability to get out of the pocket and create some big plays that Brad Johnson can't do yet. I mean, look at little play action. That's the staple. Everything starts off of that. Then he avoids the rush, and he looks downfield, and that's what he does so well. Look at that nice throw right on the shoulder. And there it is, a big play. And that opened up the running game and everything else, able to throw the screen and really got the offense going.
The other thing that impressed me, Florida State, I think, has surprised Auburn tonight with their ability defensively, particularly against the run.
Well, their inability, Auburn's inability to throw the ball effectively. Stan White at halftime was only 5-9, meant that Florida State could load up on the defense, and their front three was able to stop that running game and made it look stats like this at halftime. 17-7 to score. Look at that, 4 first downs, and as Pat Dye said, one of them was right at the end of the half when they were going 2 minutes and Florida State was back. Passing yards for Auburn, 24 yards, and total yards for the half, 226 yards for Florida State. That's just too much. Ron?
Thanks so much. And, of course, that figure in the passing, the fact that Auburn has been averaging 289 yards a ball game throwing. But you all know what happened 2 weeks ago here against Tennessee as far as a second half comeback. We'll see if it's in the cards tonight. Florida State holding to the momentum right now, but they'll get the football. Shannon Baker can't field that one, so Florida State will go from their 20-yard line, and now a flag has been thrown back downfield as several of the players continued to push and shove after the ball went into the end zone. Penalties in the first half. Personal foul against Florida State, so the Seminoles are going to start at the 10-yard line rather than the 20. That's 6 fouls against Florida State for a total of 52 yards in the ballgame. Auburn was penalized 4 times for 42 in the first half. Now, the thing that Weldon is going to have to deal with is right there, Gary. He is right has behind him the student section and to his right, very close to it.
Field position always plays a big part, but when you're backed up next to the other team's crowd, I mean, there's no doubt that this is going to be a very important series.
10-point lead for the Seminoles, and the crowd trying to help out. Weldon has it complete just shy of the 30-yard line. Dawson.
Well, how do you handle 1st and 25? Just rip it out of your own end zone with a little play action fake and go one-on-one and just have a lot of confidence in a kid that you believe in, even though he's a backup. Nice fake, takes his time, and then he comes out, almost touches the goal line. And now watch him rip this throw in here. And Dawsey just plucks it out with 2 hands. Very, very good execution there.
For the Florida State fans wondering why that was not a first down, it was a post-play foul after it had gone into the end zone. So they had 1st and 20. And Lee hurdles a man at the line of scrimmage, tries to negotiate the corner, and Corey Barlow is holding on.
Very, very disappointing 2 plays right here for the Auburn defense. You know they wanted to come out at halftime. Here's Weldon again. Makes the deep handoff to Ampley. Little jump, little hurdle, and keep those knees going, those arms going, and keep looking for the outside and pick up the 1st down. Ampley is nice looking football player.
Leading rusher for Florida State, 335 yards and 70 carries coming into this one. Weldon high over the middle, overthrown as Dave Roberts was being converged on from 3 different directions.
Well, you can tell Bobby's got a lot of confidence in this kid now. 1st down again, they come out with the play action. Little deep double zone. He went to the tight end down the middle. He made the proper read and just threw it a little too far.
We saw that stat back in the first half of how much Florida State had been throwing on 1st down. And here he comes out in the second half and does it on both 1st down situations.
Well, they had a lot of success running the ball in the 1st down, too. Florida State just feels that they can dial anything right now, and they feel confident in it.
Is it my imagination, as a flag is down, is it my imagination or did the blockers, who went the wrong direction?
Well, you got to say the guy, let's catch out the penalty right here from the referee, but you got to say the guy who has the ball went the right way, but I think the screen guys went the wrong way.
I called a screen and all of a sudden I don't see any screen folks.
Well, I've heard of naked boots, but naked screens don't usually work very, very well in any league. Well, I tell you, there's some talking going on in the huddle. Ampley's going, men, right is to your right, left is, put some tape on your shoe or something, guys.
Holding, offense, 10 yards, increase 2nd down.
Well, they did 2 things. They held and they went the wrong way. Bad time right here. These guys right up here, they're going to come out here and look for the screen blocking. But the tailback's going to take the fake and go out this way for the pass. It doesn't work very good when the blocking goes one way and the screen guy goes the other. They had a pretty good looking play if he'd have gone to the other side of it. I'm not saying he was wrong. I don't know.
The fake to reverse. Ampley breaks the 1st tackle but will not get by James Willis. That's a loss of 5 more by Florida State. And it's going to be a 3rd down, and they will need the 44.
Number 92, Sutton, is going to string out the play from the other side of the field. He does it. He plays off his blocker and throws him up. He's got 2 jobs right there, Ron. Turn the man inside and get rid of your blocker. He did both excellently. Wait for the pursuit.
Big 3rd down for Florida State. They got to go out close to the 45-yard line. Looking for Roberts, incomplete. from Tampa to punt. And Auburn has the coverage on, and this is a beauty. Wasden from the 32. Great coverage by Florida State. That's LaVon Brown, who was downfield on the special teams to catch him from behind. 45 yards in the punt and 7 yards on the return. Auburn possessions.
Well, there's a lot there, but the important thing is the results. And out of that, they've only gotten one touchdown, that great 90-yard drive that they did in 9 plays. But it has been punt, punt, punt all night, and that is not good news.
The biggest job by Florida State was when Auburn had it at the 48 and still wound up punting the football. No points. That's complete to Victor Hall. Being pushed back, maybe a gain of about 4.
And guess who pushed him back? And you can always tell when Marvin Jones hits a guy, they fall backwards. I mean, this guy just explodes through his tackles, number 55.
And I'll tell you what, they've got a youngster behind him who's a true freshman out of Austin, Texas. Ken Alexander, 6'3", 240, and they're looking for him to be a great one.
And they like him, number 36, and they say he's starting to push All-American Kirk Carruthers. I mean, this is a competitive football team. They bring in good players every year.
White dialing up, and he can't get it. Greg Taylor was open and had beaten his man by about 4 yards.
Well, it doesn't get any better than that for a quarterback. The free safety bit on the crossing route. Stan even has to chuckle about it. You can't have it any nicer than that. Free safety bites, and Taylor just comes down and beats his man easy. Now the corner, it's not entirely his fault. He thinks he has a free safety in the middle of the field. 2 things wrong here. Threw it too far, and he threw it too far to the outside. Stan, I mean, you just love to have those back. I mean, you look at the bench, you go, Pat Sullivan, my coach, I didn't mean to do it.
Blitz is coming up the middle. White's delivery incomplete at the 45. Cherry would parallel to the ground to try to bring it in. So Auburn got what they wanted just a moment ago. Good field position, and now unable to move it and able to have to kick it back to Florida State. Richie Nell.
Did you see that right there? Pat Dye did something really good. He patted Stan on the White, said that's Stan White on the butt, and said that's all right. We got a lot of time left. We're going to have plenty more opportunities. Good job by Pat Dye.
These two colors putting on quite a show right now. Buckley from the 10. That's a flag, and he'll be tackled at the 17. Dennis Wright was down on the special teams, and another flag has come in. That's 46 yards and 8 on the return. And I should mention, both of these coaches have been a little perplexed about their punting.
Right.
Right now, they're really thunderfooting it.
And for Auburn, he's having the best game anybody on the field so far for him. I mean, he's just butting the ball very, very well.
.11:44 left in the third. Florida State by 10. ESPN's College Football Saturday, Florida State versus Auburn, is brought to you by Volvo, the car that's famous for its safety, durability, and longevity. And by the U.S. Navy. You and the Navy, full speed ahead. Just a part of the 85,214 on hand tonight to see this matchup, the second year of a 10-year contract between Florida State and Auburn University. And dropped for a 2-yard loss by James Willis. Pat Dye at Jordan-Hare Stadium has lost only 8 times. If you remember what we said back in the opening, though, the last time that he lost a game here was against this same team from Tallahassee, Florida.
It's those little mistakes that are really costing them in this football game again. They have a great situation. Florida State has their worst field position of the game to start a drive, and then they jump off sides.
Weldon again is having to deal with the student sections, which actually cup in that corner to his right and also behind him. I'm sure that he doesn't want to have to call an audible if he can keep from it. Great change of direction. Boy, he gets tagged by Eric Ramsey. But I believe he's going to have the first down. Yes, he is, out at the 18-yard line.
And here come the big boys in. Get a first down. They're going to put the #1 unit in. I mean, they keep everybody fresh, but you still like to have those starters in. Looking at Frank Stankunas right there, who's in for Dennis Wallace, who limped off early in the game. Now, this is not really too bad for Auburn. I mean, he started 11 games last year at safety, and Wallace beat him out this year.
Screen, and this time the blockers are right there. Lee shoved out of bounds at the 37.
Well, I mean, this is a play we've been seeing. What's this, third or fourth time we've seen it tonight? Works a lot better when the linemen go to the same side as the back, I have to say. But Amp Lee just picks his way and follows the blockers and just picks up those positive yards. Here it is, off the play action. Remember, they run that play a lot. Weldon works on it, retreats, and throws it. A little bit behind him this time, but he runs right by the block. But watch how he sets up the block right. Oh, is that nice. Uses his people down the field. That's great running, to use the people. Don't just plow through there, use them.
Bennett goes for 3 and it gets banged very hard, knocked out of bounds across the way by Mike Campbell. And one of the few times that you'll see, or we have seen tonight, Florida State in split backs rather than I formation.
Split backs, and then what they run is a little sweep action to the weak side, but they like to run the short side of the field. They want to do it even if it doesn't pick up a lot of yards so they can throw out of it occasionally. They don't want it just a formation where it's just all pass.
Bobby Bowden, things didn't look so good for his ball club early, but they have really grabbed the momentum.
Here they go split backs again, and now they can throw and run. They got it in their mind.
Weldon gets it away to Bennett. Flags go down, and that's going to be a clip on the play. Oh, we have a third flag that has come into the pile as Barlow was there defensively.
Nice job by Casey Weldon here. Nobody open. Again, Dawsey is a very aggressive player. He goes down, runs his pattern, but he comes back, and he comes back aggressively, and he's going to lay one on right here. That was close, but he did not get his body in front of him. They're going to throw. Everybody throws a flag on that. That's an easy call. All the refs like to grab into the pocket right there. Yep, I got my flag on the ground on that one. Those are the ones that everybody likes to throw on.
This penalty's going to push it back to the 26-yard line. 9 minutes, 49 seconds left, third period. 17-7 Florida State. And now what the Seminoles are going to have to do, they got to push it out to the 47-yard line to pick up the first down.
They're also, even though they're not having great success moving down and putting any points on the board so far, they are eating up some time on the clock. You know, when Auburn came back against Tennessee, they put points on the board right away. This time they've not gotten their hands on the ball.
To Baker, and he cannot hold on at the 43. Corey Barlow really put the lumber to it.
You're right. Corey Barlow did come back on that play and lay it on him. You know, when the guy catches the ball, you have to hit him aggressively. One of the problems with throwing the ball is they don't promise that they won't hit you. Fernando Horn this time gets him and throws him to the ground. You'll take that. That wasn't vicious as it can get, but Horn hustling all the way. You'll remember that as a quarterback as the game goes on.
The rock on the spot, and you can see that Amp Lee lost yardage in the play, and Auburn stands to get good field position. Wimberly, let's see if he can duplicate what he did his last time out, which was 45, and he may better it. All the way back to the 28. Shane will take it across the 35 and close to the 40. Keith Jones on the special teams. Florida State leading by 10. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Kevin Kiley from Auburn, Alabama. Third period, 8:44 left to play, and the Seminoles leading by 10. White has a man open, and he overthrows Wasden, who took a shot, and now the flag comes down. Wasden took a shot to the head.
Well, there's no doubt he caught one here right in the face. Uncalled for.
Dead ball foul. Personal foul called against Florida State.
Number 44, John Weish, the backup strong safety, is going to take this shot on him. The ball is thrown high. He obviously does not have it, and he doesn't let up a bit. Puts his helmet right in his face right there.
I think that's the reason for the immediate flag was the top of the headgear, catching him, well, any place for that matter, but particularly a head-to-head blow. Let's go to Kevin Kiley down on the sideline.
Ron, the Auburn defense is playing better, but the offense after the last series came over to the sideline. They feel they can beat Florida State. They have a tremendous amount of confidence. All they think they need to do is execute better, hold their blocks, and play the offense. They're ready to go. Back up to you.
White's going to air it out on this one. Looking for Taylor. Incomplete. And what the crowd got upset about is he was looking over his left shoulder and it had to reverse, look over the other, and they got tangled up.
Well, Terrell Buckley did a nice job of taking Taylor out of his pattern. He gets beat. Now watch him just nonchalantly just kind of run into him. I'm sorry, that's interference because he was trying to come back and get to the ball. There was an opportunity to catch that ball, and Buckley did a nice job by just throwing him off balance a little bit.
I misunderstood you. Did you think there was interference or not?
I think there was interference on that play. It's a good job by Buckley, but it's still interference. You have to take a chance when you're beat.
White, 6 of 14, 28 yards in the ballgame. Darrell Williams. And that's the first carry for him tonight, and I was beginning to wonder when we were going to see the guy they call Lectron, because he is a little bit quicker than either Joseph or Danley.
One back offense, one of the favorite plays everybody likes to run is the counter gap. They're going to bring these two guys right here. He's going to take a step and come back. The old Washington Redskin made famous play right here, and everyone in college football is running it. There it goes. The two big guys honk up in there, and look at that nice big yardage he gets to run on.
This time Darrell Williams ran into his blocker, Tony Richardson, and let's go up to Tim Brando for an update.
All right, all the way up here to Connecticut. You're right, Ron. 24-20. LSU right now has the lead. Brad Smith just scored on a one-yard touchdown run. That game in the third quarter. The boys from the Bluegrass making a comeback against Mike Archer's Tigers. Let's get back to Jordan-Hare Stadium.
Timmy, our situation is just under 8 minutes to play in the third quarter. Florida State leading by 10, and Auburn trying to grab some momentum back. 15-yard penalty just a moment ago did not help the Seminole situation after a very nice stop in the first series.
You know, I think what Kevin said is right, though, Ron. I mean, there's nothing magical that Florida State, as you can see, they're just a little bit short. Closer than that. It wasn't that far. But there's nothing magical Florida State is doing, playing sound defense. Auburn offense doesn't seem to be hitting on all the cylinders yet.
Well, case in point, just a moment ago, is Williams ran into Richardson, his blocker, rather than being able to turn it out. Fourth down, they're going for it. The crowd will tell you. Tony Richardson.
Tony Richardson, the true freshman fullback, bounces outside right here from the opposite side of the field. Gets it to him deep. He hits up in there and then bounces. Keep working. You got to get across that line. You got to have it. This drive, they need a first down horribly bad.
Richardson now 4 carries, 18 yards, and a touchdown. White Gets blitzed as he throws it, and it is intercepted by Florida State's Leon Fowler.
Had a lot of time on this, and he again tried to go too deep, but he gets hammered here, and he doesn't get the follow through. Henry Ostanuski puts it on him and drives him into the ground. Number 74, the ball flutters, and there it is, the interception. The only good thing about this is it ended up on the 2 or 3 yard line.
Florida State gets the takeaway deep in their own territory. 17-7 Florida State following that interception.
Well, with Bobby's reputation, this ball may go anywhere on the field here.
You may be right. Shannon Baker's in the ball game. He won the state sprint championship a couple of years ago. But they go straight ahead with the run to Edgar Bennett. It'll be very short yardage as he tries the right side. Walter Tate, big number 76, along with David Rocker, there to collapse on him.
The Auburn defense has done their part this half. I mean, they have not allowed Florida State past midfield. They've had great field position, I grant you there, but they have not given up the big play. It's just the Auburn offense just has not been executing at all.
To lead, 2 yards, maybe 3. That's Larry Young, who smelled it out nicely.
Not too many times you're going to see a screen from your own end zone like that, but it's almost beginning to be like student body right for Florida State tonight. I mean, we've seen that play at least 6 times, and it's been positive yards all but the time that the line went the wrong way.
So the ball at the 6-yard line, and if Florida State wants to keep this drive going, they've got to move out to the 13.
Well, they don't want a turnover. You know, they want to be careful with this ball. I'd see look for some type of a pick pass, maybe to the back in the front.
Quick over the middle to Roberts, his tight end. It's going to be short of the first down by a couple of yards. Corey Barlow was there immediately.
Well, they dropped back nice. They had good protection. The route was good. The throw was good. Only one problem. The tight end didn't go deep enough. You do everything right and you have to punt the ball. That's not good execution.
Rather than Shane Wasden, number 20, Herbert Casey, has dropped off as the single safety. Now, he's the one that had the good return against Tennessee to get things going. But this is a marvelous punt all the way to the 34. Marvin Jones in the special teams along with Sterling Palmer. And let's go to Kevin Kiley.
Normally Shane Wasden would be returning that punt, but he was injured a couple of series ago. He got his bell rung. I spoke with the doctor. They don't know whether the starting receiver and kick returner, punt returner for Auburn will be back in the game. He's still a little bit woozy back upstairs.
Thanks, Kev. Here's a look at Shane Wasden on the sideline who took that shot over the middle. Darrell Williams, Lectron goes straight ahead, and very short yardage is Todd McIntosh, who's down at the bottom of the stack. Lectron is a sophomore from Pritchard, Alabama, 5'9", 198. Has 232 yards in their earlier ball games on 60 carries. But as I mentioned, he didn't carry it back in the first half. Williams turns the corner, and he can burn it down to the 34.
The Electron lights it up a little bit for him. He played as a true freshman last year, just a sophomore, 5'9", 200 pounds, and he gives him a great change of pace out of the backfield. Coach Larry Blakely said he'd like to play him a little bit more, but he has to work on his blocking and the passes and catching the ball. But he, when he has the ball in his hands, is a threat and a real good offensive weapon. It's when he doesn't have the ball is the problem.
the longest run of the game from scrimmage. White leaves two backs in the block. Pass well overthrown. That's Greg Taylor was the man he wanted.
Well, Stan called an audible there, Ron, and he was confused. He called the wrong audible. It was a quick out to both people. The zone rotated up. He only had two guys out for a pass, and there was no one to throw the ball to. You know, when you give a guy the room, the audible at the line of scrimmage, you have to live with some mistakes. I mean, he is still just a true freshman, and he's going to hit a couple of those down the line as long as he don't coach him a little bit too much.
Playing as a freshman, they had him around last year in a redshirt season.
Freshman, I'm sorry.
But still, as far as playing experience, you're exactly right. Draw play to Williams. Kirk Carruthers held on for dear life and saved big yardage. Tim Brando.
Ron, after a touchdown pass from Marinovich to Gary Wellman, USC goes for two to get to within 7, trailing 35-26. Watch the chicanery. Marinovich making it appear as if he's calling an audible. Then they snap it back to the backup quarterback, Shane Foley. His pass is incomplete in the end zone, 35-26. Arizona by 9, only 2.5 minutes left. Pac-10 is whacked.
Well, it's 2 weeks in a row, Tim, that SC's been drawing them on the ground, huh? Option play in the 3rd and 5, and Williams will have the first down. He gets belted down hard by DeAndre Clark.
Call here, little option play. Stan comes out, quick pitch. There was a pitch all the way. Watch a nice cutback right here, right? Boop, give the fake and cut back. Very nice. Little hold on Kirk Carruthers on the left side of your screen, but whoa. Tillman here is going to come out and push it. Put one right on Marvin Jones. Spins around. Look at, he still spins and has the presence to get his arm out there. Good job by Marvin Jones, even though he does good block.
Williams hit in the backfield and knocked down for a loss by Howard Dinkins. Howard has played well this year, but tonight has been playing as kind of a backup as some of his teammates have been there ahead of him.
We haven't heard his name a lot. You're right so far. Right then again, a little stumble. I mean, it's Auburn causing a lot of their own problems themselves. He catches it, he stumbles, and then, of course, all the timing is thrown up all to the wall.
Williams comes out. James Joseph checks in. It is a 2nd down for the Tigers at about 13. Herbert Casey was the closest guy to it. You have to say he was the intended receiver. Larry Blakely, the gentleman bobbing in and out of your picture.
Without the hat is Larry right there.
They call it offense by committee at Auburn. With Pat Sullivan, this gentleman, and also Pat Pye.
The play was good. It was a good throw. He just threw it high again.
It is 3rd down. They need the 13-yard line. White over the middle, complete to Joseph at the 20, and he will be short of the first down by about 7 yards.
All right, a lot of people say, why throw the ball like that when you can't get a first down? They're thinking field goal right here. Remember, they're only down by 10 points. They put it in the middle of the field. They got enough to feel comfortable kicking the field goal. That's only his second
completion of the second half. 2 of 9 for a total of 9 yards. And 1 interception. That one made down at the 3-yard line by Fowler. Von Weil to attempt the field goal. He's 6 of 10. His longest is 48, and this is an attempt of 37. He splits it. Regular season coverage of the National Football League kicks off Sunday, November the 11th. That's when 4-time Super Bowl champion San Francisco takes on the Dallas Cowboys. Mike Patrick and Joe Theismann will be there with all the action, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on November the 11th. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Kevin Kiley. else that, well, with the exception of the second quarter when Florida State took them out of the ball game, and those people are standing up on the walkways. I guess they didn't like the seat that they had at the end zone or what have you, but 85,214, that's capacity. And well, if you're going to bring anybody else in, bring your own shoehorn. Chris Dickinson kicks off for Auburn. Baker watches this one go into the end zone, and Florida State will take it at the 20-yard line. 8 plays, 35 yards on the field goal by John Von Weil. Jim Von Weil, I beg your pardon. 37-yarder is good, and it's 17-10.
Again, that 3rd and 13 call, I like that call right there. The chances of picking up the first down weren't great, so you put it in position to take 3 points. It's going to be a big 3 points. Man, I hope we don't get down to this tie game again here, because they got these cards and everything. I don't understand these 2-point things.
Average gain in first down. Florida State 5.4. For Auburn, it's 2.5. Short drop complete to Dossie. Breaks off the tackle, and he will have the first down and move the sticks out over the 30. Dennis Wallace.
We talked about how important it is to make the tackle on these short passes. Here it is, little 5-6 yard quick out. The ball's a little bit high. Look at that, how he's just reacts to these plays and turns upfield. I love this guy after he gets the ball.
Senior from Dothan, Alabama. On the play action. Now Casey gonna run it. Out of bounds across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and it's Willis who was chasing him. And that is very close to another Florida State first down.
You know, that doesn't look like much, but those guys he's running against out there are some great athletes. And he's got 4.6 speed, and that's what makes that possible. I mean, a lot of quarterbacks look good running the ball, but put him out there with all the great athletes that Auburn has, and you look a little slow. Weldon looks right at home out there.
Besides all the noise from the crowd, we have a battle of the bands tonight. One plays, and then here comes the other.
Well, Florida State's an experienced band. They play all year long, so this is nothing new. Now, the Auburn band, they're just learning as the game goes on. Sometimes they even play after the snap.
Edgar Bennett brings it back in the other direction, close to the 50, as Corey Barlow will push him out of bounds. And all of you band enthusiasts who take exception, right, Gary, please. Not me. I didn't say the Auburn band was inexperienced.
Well, they don't know how to play quite as well during the game. This Florida State band for years played well.
(17-10), Florida State on top as we have less than a minute in this third quarter. Big drive for the Seminoles after Auburn comes down against the field goal to cut it to 7. Weldon drills it to Baker, and that's enough for the Florida State first down. The sophomore from Lakeland is tackled by Corey Barlow.
Again, Baker goes just beyond the first down line. Weldon puts it right there. Good timing. They're in sync tonight with this passing game. There's no doubt about it.
Matt Fryer, freshman from Live Oak, Florida, comes in replacing Shannon Baker.
Fryer has been starting so far this year, the freshman, and Baker got the call tonight, and both of them have a lot of confidence in both players.
Maybe one, and that's it. Ricky Sutton was the first man to come across and make contact. And that probably is the last play of the third period. Florida State certainly doesn't want to rush it up and try to run a play. And that'll do it as we're about to head to the final 15 minutes of action with the Seminoles leading by 7. Fourth quarter here in Auburn, Alabama, and it's Florida State on top by a touchdown. We have not seen the leading tackler since back in the first half of the Auburn Tigers, Cunningham, and we'll get an update on that for you shortly. Weldon zips it out to Lee, and what a great open field tackle by Ramsey. Let's go to Kevin Kiley for this update.
Ron, the Auburn defense certainly could use their leading tackler, number 47, Carrican Cunningham. He's behind this fella in the plaid shirt. They've worked feverishly on him most of the game. Has cramps in the hamstrings. He has not been able to go back in the game, and I know it's hurting the Tiger defense. Back to you.
Thanks, Kev. You might remember back in the first half as he was chasing Casey Weldon to the far side of the field. That's when he limped off, and now they're walking him to the Auburn locker room. Weldon on third down, going to go long and incomplete, and that, I think, is going to be offensive pass interference as Lee turned around and pushed.
I think he pushed off. There's no doubt about it. He had good coverage. Weldon's doing a nice job getting out of the pocket, though, and finding somebody deep.
It is defensive pass interference. My apologies to Amp Lee.
Well, Amp Lee was sure of it, but I think everybody else thought it was offensive interference. There's the hit as he lets it go. He gets driven into the ground. But look at this. Who's pushing who right here? It's either a no call or it looked like at least offensive pass interference. There he goes. He pushes off big time. Should have actually caught the ball, Ron.
State with a first down, and that was a big third down play. They get it by penalty. Kevin Mancini, and I think he was victimized by the crowd.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense, 5 yards, first and 15.
Mancini's having a few problems. Staying on side is just one of them. He's got a bad ankle that he's been fighting with all night, and he's staying in there. Cunningham, he goes in one time, he comes out the next time. I don't know if he's trying to loosen it up or what.
I think that's what they're trying to do. Weldon almost intercepted. Corey Barlow is spanking himself right now, and there was a lot of empty turf up that far side.
He threw the ball way late. They had a little seam pass. Everybody goes straight up the ball. Weldon delivers it late, so he has to throw it to the hole. And what he does, he throws it way behind him. Actually, if the ball wasn't tipped, Corey Barlow had the play. That's what he was so upset about. It was coming right to him. And he tipped the ball. His receiver saved an interception.
And since that was the open side of the field, it might have been 6. Play of the drive, they go with a run to Lee and tripped up by Barlow. Boy, for a moment it broke open, and then Barlow came from nowhere to catch him by the ankles, and now it's going to be third down for the Seminoles, and the line to make is the 21.
Corey Barlow right here. He beats Dawson inside. Nice job by Dawson not to get the clip, but he beat the receiver inside and made the play.
Third down Seminoles. They need in the vicinity of 13 yards, and this group right here will probably let you know.
Third down, Dossie's going to run the route. He's got man-to-man coverage. He's going to the post. But when he sees Weldon scramble, look at him go to the sideline just as he's taught. Puts it right there. And he could have had that pass. Dennis Wallace, I think, just got his hand on it. Throws it on the run. Let's see if Wallace gets his hand in there. Yes, he does. Great job by Dennis Wallace to save a very, very big play.
Andrews to attempt a 51-yard field goal. His longest is 43 this year. defensive coordinator for the Auburn Tigers. We talked with him about the difference in last year's ball game as far as Florida State jumped on top big in the first half, 19-3. And defensively, the Tigers came on strong in the second half and also put points on the board. They had a chance last year for touchdown and two-point conversion to tie it as the clock went out.
Well, what his theory of defense is, yes, he's got an All-American in David Rocker. He's lost Rogers, he's other fine tackle, but he's still playing John Wilson, Fernando Hall, Richard Shea, the backup nose tackle. He wants to win. He believes the fourth quarter's his.
White gives it complete to Greg Taylor at the 48 of Florida State.
Well, this Stan White's got nerves of a cat burglar. I'll tell you, he's been having trouble throwing the ball all night, so what does he do? Sticks it in between two zones right here. This is just a tough throw. Remember, he's had a couple intercepted. Look at it, right on the line, and he got the toe down. Beautiful job.
Who's a redshirt freshman from Selma, Alabama, who just come into the ball game. He took the pass and has a gain of close to 5.
Well, I tell you, Stan White is beginning to get a personality like Joe Montana had in college. He can just bring teams from behind. You know, he says he loves the way Joe Montana plays football. That's his idol. Of course, it's everybody's idol, even his guys that play in the NFL. But, I mean, he just is coming from behind and just throwing the ball so much better in the fourth quarter than he was earlier.
Joseph has the Auburn first down at the Florida State 36-yard line. Storyline in this one so far with their ball game at 17-10, Florida State. Weldon 15 of 24, 203 yards, 1 touchdown. White 9 of 21, 56 yards, 2 interceptions. Florida State 17 second quarter points. At time McMillan takes the quick handoff as Auburn tried to cross him up with the quick trap. Marvin Jones stepped up into the hole to make the tackle.
Boy, I don't know. Step up in the hole. Do you think we could recall that? I mean, he just filled up. You know what? Coach Erickson, Dennis Erickson from Miami, said this guy gets there in a hurry, and he gets there with in a bad mood when he gets there. I know what he means. I mean, he just lays a hit on everybody. Great way to describe how Marvin Jones plays football.
Bobby Bowden seeking his 200th career win. Joseph tripped out of the line of scrimmage, loses the ball. Florida State football.
From the other side of the field, Joseph gets his hand on the ball, gets it to him deep, but he gets tripped early, loses his balance, and out comes the football. It bounces around a little. Oh, nice catch. Nice way to get it. Grab it right from those guys. The bottom of the pile, Simpson ends up with it. Got tripped up in the backfield.
Carl Simpson made the recovery. Marvin Jones made the hit. Turnovers, Auburn now 3. Florida State 2 in the ball game. But how untimely was this one, and a huge drive, I think, for Florida State to wrestle some momentum back. Ampley breaks it open and caught for the ankles by John Weiler.
Boy, there's some feet right there, right in the hole. He jumps by a linebacker, gets up to there, and then re-accelerates. Nice run by Ampley. Look at him, congratulating all his guys. Nice job, guys. I saw the hole. He takes it deep, cuts back, sprint draw, cut back. Watch him. Whoa, oh, he's by that guy. Puts a move on him, and he's into the secondary. Put a move on Larry Young, and all of a sudden he's into the secondary.
16 carries, 70 yards. This time will be dropped after a gain of a couple by Anthony Judge. Anthony, a junior from Fort Lauderdale.
Anthony Judge is in there because of Cunningham's injury. They've been playing Willis and Judge. Then rotating him in there.
Now the boos come up again as the Florida State chant begins.
Wonder if they've got tennis elbow problems in Tallahassee and all those years of extending that arm.
Spear elbow. Weldon gets it out to Dawsey at the 46. Boy, is he gang tackle, but he pushes it forward to within about 1 yard of the first down.
I think they marked it forward progress back a little farther, Ron, and then they flew forward, but it's at least 2 yards. Like the call. Second down, a nice safe pass. Give it to him short. Get it to your best guy. Somebody can run with the ball afterwards. There you see the Auburn guys going, oh man, not again. Fourth quarter. We want to be national champs. Can we lose to these guys 4 years in a row?
Now the last big game here at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Auburn had to come from behind. Right now they got a lot of work to do. Down by 7. Florida State moving the football. Dawsey over the middle and short of the first down at the 49. Corey Barlow, and that is his 14th tackle of the night.
Again, they're going to their money men. Lawrence Dawsey here, he's going to go in motion, and he's going to come back under it. Get it to him quick, but they're in man coverage, and Barlow comes up. Everybody comes up. Push him back. Don't let him run for that first down. Good defense.
Corey Barlow will be around again next year. He's only a junior, 5'10", 186 from Atlanta, Georgia, and he will sleep extremely well tonight. He has battered and also been battered.
Well, he's had to chase this Dawsey around all day. I mean, that's a nice work for anybody.
John Wimberly waits for the snap, and delay of game called against Florida State.
Now that it's more than 4th and 4, or it's 4th and 1 with the penalty, I wouldn't be surprised to see Auburn go for the block right here. Wonder if Bobby Bowden has enough guts to go for a fake right here. I've seen him do it in weirder places.
Auburn Tigers do make personnel changes, but they got the return on. Herbert Casey, no fair catch as a flag comes down, or did he make one as the flag comes down? Sterling Palmer on the special teams is down to make the hit. And now let's see what the flag is about, because it was thrown immediately, and normally that is from a signal of the fair catch and then advancing it. But this is going to be clipping against the Tigers.
John Wiley gets him from behind. He pushes him and he clips him. 2 penalties on 1 play.
8:17 left in the ball game. Florida State 17 and Auburn 10.
You by Jeep and Eagle, a division of Chrysler Corporation. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
Well, I guess the best description of this day is what we've been calling it all day long, and that is Elimination Saturday. And teams in contention for the national title have fallen today. Miami was upset by Notre Dame, and I say upset, I think they were favored in the ballgame. Tennessee was upset at home. Michigan was beaten again today. Flea flicker. White. Intercepted by Florida State. John Davis. Two flags are down at the 41-yard line, but they came down after the interception was made by Davis, his second of the year.
There you see State coming off the flea flicker play. Didn't fool anybody. That's the 4th turnover of the game and his 3rd interception tonight. It looks like they're going to tack on some yards on the back.
They're going to tack on a big one. And Gary, the tough thing about this, and I'm sure you've been in the same situation, but that's one of those that you want so badly for it to work. But when you see 3 opposing jerseys down there, you can't throw that pass.
Dead ball, personal foul, defense, first down.
The flea flicker play. The design is to throw the ball downfield with the type of play. You know, you run action, you flip it back to him, you hope those safeties bite, but they just didn't bite. Stan fell in love with the deep pass and threw it with 3 guys around him. You're right.
So 8:03 left in the ball game, and with the penalty, Florida State now with the ball just inside the Auburn 35-yard line. And it is incumbent upon this Auburn defense, if they want a chance at this one tonight, that they cannot allow anything on the scoreboard from the Seminoles on this drive. Flag comes down as Weldon really takes a shot inside the 30. Eric Ramsey and Darrell Crawford combined on the stop, but offensive holding has been called against Florida State. They'll bring it back.
Ron, the coaches on the Florida State sideline are absolutely livid about this holding call. You just have to imagine what they told their offense. Listen, don't lay the ball on the ground. No dumb penalties. Take care of it.
Holding, offense, repeats first down, 1st and 20.
So what do they get as a 10-yard loss on the first play when they're very, very close to field goal range? That's just something that, you know, it plays right into Auburn hands. Whoa.
13 penalties, 117 yards. You can bet that gentleman will talk to his guys pretty sternly about that on Monday. Amply, 2, maybe 3 yards. Walter Tate.
Let's go back to that interception again on the flea flicker. There you see it. They're going to hand off to this guy right here. He runs up, laterals it back to Stan White, and you got a guy coming across the field like this, and this guy coming deep right here. But nobody in the secondary bites on the play, and that's the problem. Snap it. Look at the secondary. He's backing up. It's a little too quick on the flip. Didn't give it a lot of time, and then he falls in love with the touchdown, and that'll happen. Boy, I tell you, you'd be so happy the play is called. It worked in practice, and all of a sudden, nothing.
Weldon behind Baker, had him at the 30-yard line. And it's going to be 3rd down. And Florida State needs to achieve the 25-yard line. But probably more importantly, if you're Bobby Bowden on the far side, they need to pick up about 12 yards to put it within a decent field goal range.
We're sitting right next to the Florida State box, and they were livid about that penalty too. And you're right, that's the reason. 3 points almost puts the game out of reach. And now it looks like if they don't have a big play right here, they're not even going to be in field goal range.
Weldon, 16 of 26, 205 yards and 1 touchdown. They went with the Ruski. Left it on the ground, and the ball may have been recovered by Auburn. It is Auburn football. Walter Tate.
You gotta love the gambling nature of Bobby Bowden. They don't always work, but his kids love playing for him. Here it is, the Ruski. They're going to take the ball and lay it right on the ground here. All the action's going to be this way, and the guard's supposed to take it and run around here. They lay it on the ground, and the only guy that finds it is the guy from Auburn. Well, those plays aren't pretty when they don't work, are they, Ron?
Yeah, they're a masterpiece when they do work. Tennessee used it earlier this year. That's going to be procedure against Auburn, so they'll give up 5 yards, but they have the football, which to them right now is the most important thing.
Red ball, illegal snap, offense, first down.
I'd like to see Auburn go with the no huddle right now. I know there's 6:40 to go and there's plenty of time, but I want as many plays as I can get if I'm Pat Dye. They're stopping Florida State. I want to take as many plays as I can, get 2 chances to win the game, not just 1.
Now the officials calling a timeout because they're looking back up at the clock.
Did some time go off it on that false snap? Because that was a dead ball foul.
Here, let me ask you. You talk about the gambling of Bobby Bowden there. Why would you run a Ruski when you were ahead in a third down situation like that?
Well, I think he just wants to win this game so bad, and he thinks about these situations when it would work. Evidently, he thought third and long, he had an opportunity to run it with the big pass rush and everything, and that puts the game away.
Well, that's true.
If you do it right there, you win it, and you create legends with those type of plays. You got to have the confidence of your own security, though, to run those type of plays, I think.
That's right.
The 25 clock, second clock is malfunctioning. He'll be kept on the field.
So the 25 seconds will have to be kept on the field. And this is unfortunate for both teams.
It's unfortunate for Stan White, especially if they do go 2 minutes. It's nice to have that 25-second clock to be looking around, because there's so many other things you have to take care of. That's one of the things you just like to look up and see.
So the situation, we've had a stoppage in play here because of the clock and also because of the turnover. 6:41 remaining in the ball game. It's Florida State 17 and Auburn 10. Auburn scored first tonight, and they had momentum going in their direction until the Seminoles wrestled it away from them and came back with 17 unanswered points in the second quarter. Auburn has come back with a field goal here in the second half, and that is how we stand. White's pass, well overthrown. Terrell Buckley had the cover, but as much as anything, just looked like he threw that one away.
Well, that's why. You're right in the call. Buckley had him covered, had Taylor covered, and he just tossed it. Not a great night so far for Stan White. 9 for 23, 56 yards, and 3 to the guys in white.
Stacy Dandler will come out. James Joseph will replace him. White has it complete to Herbert Casey. And that is enough for the Auburn first down in Florida State territory.
Well, White hung in there on this one. He waited and he waited. Look at those nice calm feet. He lets it go. A high again. But Casey goes up, lays out, and grabs it. Wow, what a big time catch by Casey.
Incomplete over the middle, Greg Taylor. But Carruthers was right there. Carruthers had reversed on him and had a face right in his face.
Florida State only brought 3 people that time, only rushed 3 on him and played the zone, and there was really no one to throw to. I'm a little concerned, though. Stan still throwing the ball high all night.
There's your score by quarters. The 17 unanswered by Florida State in the second quarter. The field goal by Auburn here in the third period. 17-10. White a little high again, and that will draw a flag. Leon Fowler hit him out of bounds. And I'll tell you what, Bobby Bowden is not hollering at the officials. He is hollering at his football team.
There you see Fowler, look at that, completely out of the play, no need to do it, puts the helmet in there too.
Well, in the forearm more than anything, but the
helmet right to the back of the head right there. You know, he probably, even if he doesn't, he hit him out of bounds anyway.
Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, just reading him the riot act. It is first down Auburn. New line of scrimmage, the Florida State 30.
Unbalanced line. What is this, tackle eligible or what?
White's pass is complete to Herbert Casey. Breaks off the tackle, but it was enough momentum by John White to have pushed him back downfield, and that'll wind up as a gain of only 3. Now under 6 minutes to play.
It's not time for Stan White and the offense to be thinking about it, but somebody in that Auburn staff is thinking about what's our 2-point play if we get it in the end zone.
Stacey Danley breaks it up the middle, and he's close. Joe Ostazuski put the stopper on him, but let's see where they mark it. It's just inside the 21.
Going to come in with the short yardage play right here. They got 2 cracks at it. Going to bring the big boys in.
3rd down and just inches. Hall, Gray, and Baxter, all 3 tight ends of the ball game. Richardson breaks off the tackle.
Richardson scored on earlier to the left. Baxter gets the pin block right here, and he bounces outside. This guy just keeps running. He's just going to be a great back. And look at Danley come from behind the tailback to get it on the play.
And this time Richardson finds nothing.
What do? If you go for 2, that's the play right now. If you can get it in the end zone, it's a non-conference game. Ron, I say you got to go for 2.
I agree with you.
I think you do.
Right now, as far as Auburn is concerned, they want to put it in the end zone, but they don't care if it takes 4 downs to do it because the clock is now running at 4:03 and 4:02. They'd like to burn as much off there as they could.
If it was an SEC game, I could see tying it up, but this is for the national championship.
Sideline and held up 1 finger. Auburn will not go for the lead. They will go for the tie with 3:47 left to play.
A little bit of motion, and look at those guys pushing them into the end zone. That's what you have to do down there. Just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. Ed King. And Danley just takes it, jumps, dives into the end zone to tie it up.
Stacey Danley scores, and his head coach had this reaction. Florida State 17, Auburn 17. You know, I have seen this script someplace before, about 2 weeks ago.
Well, we've been leading up to it when it got to be a 7-point game. I mean, I say go for 2, though. I mean, but Coach Dye, he's had a lot of success over the years. He's got his own ideas. If he gets the ball back and they kick a field goal, they win. But if this game ends up tied 17-17, there's been a lot of people asking some questions why he didn't go for it.
Dickinson's kickoff is coming down to Shannon Baker. Baker across the 25. Let's take a look at the top 10, and this is what has happened already today. Virginia won over Wake Forest. Miami lost to Notre Dame. Tennessee lost to Alabama. Nebraska won. Auburn, Florida State. Jury is still out. Notre Dame defeated Miami. Illinois won over Michigan State. Houston over SMU. And Michigan lost to Iowa at home. We're going to see quite a change in the top 10 come Monday. Dawsey complete at the 40-yard line.
Wow, that was a nice throw right there. Both fans are playing. The 85,000 people are just as loud as you can get. Weldon drops back and rips it right into Dawsey coming across. Here's the replay. Look at it. Got the ball high, checks up, throws, follows through, catches one in the mouth after he lets it go, and puts a strike right on Dawsey. Well, they just have not been able to find a way to stop Dawsey. This guy's just so tough as a wide receiver. He's just tough. Actually, I like that it was short a little bit. If I'm Florida State, it takes a little bit more time off the clock. Obviously, you figure you're going to pick up the first down, but it just keeps that much less of a chance for Auburn to have time to come back and kick the field goal.
Clock running with 3:15 left in the ball game. Roberts over the middle, inside the 45, and he's down to the 41-yard line.
Wow, what a throw. I'll tell you, you don't think Bobby Bowden has a gambler's attitude. Fumble Ruski on third down, 2nd and inches, and he comes back. Watch Weldon fit this one in. I mean, this is a rocket he throws. This guy's fairly well covered, and Roberts just gathered in. He knows he's going to get hit. What a play, what a call.
Dave working on his 2nd degree at Florida State. Academic All-American. And that guy right there, when you say, I promise you, he will not play for a tie.
Well, he's got no choice right now.
Well, I know it, but if the shoe were on the other foot.
I agree. He's got him deep.
Overthrown inside the 20. It's Edgar Bennett, and they had worked him out of the backfield.
Oh, a nice play right there. The tight end crossed, and the back coming out of the backfield. The fullback. That's a San Francisco 49er play that you see every week with Roger Craig going deep like that.
Clock is stopped. 2:29 in the ball game. Both teams have all 3 timeouts left. It is 2nd down Florida State at the Auburn 42.
They got the matchup they wanted. The fullback on the middle linebacker and just a little higher. He had nobody down there. There's no free safety or anything. Just a free throw for Weldon.
Auburn comes with a blitz in the play. Dawsey breaks off one tackle or gets away partially and takes it to the 35. Mike Pena on the tackle. Another youngster out of Merritt Island, Florida.
You know, Dawsey, it seems like he gets the ball more than the tailback does in an offense. I mean, they find ways to get the ball to their best player. I like that. They work very hard at saying, you know, it's hard to lead as a wide receiver, but this guy leads as a wide receiver. 8 catches. He had 13 last week, and 8 again 2 weeks ago against Miami. He had 13 catches for 160 yards.
3rd down. They need the 32. Weldon fumbles, and he has his own recovery at the 36. He had the first down and had to retreat. Oh, my goodness.
Now what do? 4th down. Weldon escapes from 2 straitjacket holes. First of all, Rocker just, arm over beautifully. He's got him. And this is Tracy Rocker, an All-American. Look at him, go around him. Straight arm, and you're right, he has a first down run, and he strips the ball. And the 27, Eric Ramsey. Oh, nice job coming back to get it. Think it's good? Pat Dye. Oh, my God, I got him. Sack. No. Oh, my God, first down. Another sack. Oh, no. How can he make a first down?
Let's take a break. 70 seconds left. Tied at 17. Well, that's the story. 70 seconds left, tied at 17. Don't forget, at the conclusion of tonight's game, Gary and I will be selecting the VISA players of the game. One from each team. Well, 2 weeks ago, Tennessee and Auburn battled to a 26-26 tie. Auburn was down by 10 in this one. Not as badly as they were to Tennessee, but they have battled back to tie it at 17. Florida State with a 4th down and 5. They have it at the 37-yard line. Sack, and here is the major point. He not only sacked him, he knocked him off balance, and because of that, Weldon lost 10 more yards.
From the left side of your screen, Ricky Sutton, number 92. He comes inside on a stunt, and then he hits him, and Weldon loses his balance and loses about another 8 yards, and they're almost in field goal position already.
From the 42-yard line of Florida State. And Florida State has just called a timeout.
Doesn't hurt them. They don't need timeouts now. They didn't have enough guys on the field.
.104 to play, tied at 17. Pat Dye crunches on ice. And Jim Von Weil is hoping that he can have some ice in his veins. He is 7 of 11 on the year. I would say that Auburn needs to pick up about 12 yards to put him within close to his comfort range. And that would still be a 47-yard attempt. Play by White. They'll have about 5. Kirk Carruthers, the junior from East Lansing, comes up defensively. And Stan White goes immediately to call another timeout. The Auburn Tigers had all 3 left, so they still have 2. Two timeouts for Auburn. Here's the scoring summary. They broke on top first. Tony Richardson, a 6-yard run, 7-0. That was back in the first quarter. Then the Seminoles unleashed quite a barrage in the second quarter. Richie Andrews with the field goal, then Edgar Bennett with a 1-yard touchdown. They went on top, 10-7. And then Ampley, a screen pass from Weldon, 48 yards. But then Jim Von Weil cut it to a 7-point game with a 37-yarder in the third. And in the fourth quarter, the Auburn Tigers have come on to tie it. Stacy Dandley with a 2-yard run. And let's go down to the sideline and get a report from Kevin Kyler.
Ron, Jim Von Weil is the kicker here at Auburn. He follows one of the great kickers ever in the Southeast Conference, Win Lyle. He kicked the winning field goal in Louisiana Tech to Jim Von Weil, but he is not a proven commodity. Just a junior. It could be a tough kick for him if it comes down to it.
Well, his teammates can help him out quite a bit. That is, if they can pick up 10 to 15 more yards, they have 50 seconds to do it. Pressure, and the ball batted down at the line of scrimmage, and I believe Bill Reagan's, yes, the strong safety was up at the line of scrimmage, and Bill jumped high in the air and knocked it down. Seconds used on the play. Down to 45 now. As Victor Hall, a junior from Anniston, Alabama, senior tight end, comes into the ball game, and Pedro Cherry will come out. So it would suggest that Auburn will keep it on the ground on this third down play. Maybe. It is a drop play, and Florida State is there to drop it for no gain. In fact, a loss of 5 as Troy Sanders on the bottom and Marvin Jones at the top, combining to the hit. And Gary, what a decision now. This would be like a 55-yarder.
55-yard. The wind's a little bit in their face. It's coming from the side, the right side of the kicker, and it's going to be hooks it a little bit. It would not help him. I think they got to go for it here. I mean, I haven't called any of these rights yet, so I don't know why everybody's listening to me. Here you go, Marvin Jones again. I mean, this guy is, you talk about a big-time player. I mean, he accelerates through his hits. Everybody falls backwards when he hits it. It's like Mike Singletary when he hits somebody out there. But it's a 4th down play. You got to figure they're going to go for it here.
Line of scrimmage is the Florida State 39-yard line. The line to make is the Seminole 31. 38 seconds left in the ball game. And Auburn with a 4th down situation.
Well, as hot as they were with 4th down plays against Tennessee a couple weeks ago, you got to say this one's in the bag for Stan White.
And for those who didn't see the ball game, what Gary's referring to is they not only scored 1 4th down touchdown, they scored 2.
And actually on that one play when they scored the other one, they had scored the 4th down play before it and they had a penalty. So they scored 3 straight times. This season they're 4 for 9, and then in 4th quarter they're 4 for 6. Here we go.
White, Herbert, Casey.
Stan should just throw it in the ground now. Take a snap and throw it in the ground.
He tried to move it to the middle of the field, but he lost some yardage, which I'm sure that Pat Dye doesn't care about him doing, but now the situation is set. The clock is down under 10, and Pat Dye is saying go ahead and call the timeout, and they do with 6 ticks left on the clock. Both teams will come to their respective sidelines to talk.
Wow.
What a finish.
Stan White comes through again on 4th down. He hits Casey. I can do it when the pressure's on. That's the sign of a great one. Casey, beautiful throw. Right up high, he can catch it. He was wide open there too, Ron.
I'll tell you something, that young man almost likes to go over the middle. He and Dossie are 2 of a kind. They don't mind bodies coming at them in a hurry. You know, that's a heck of a number when you look at Auburn. 5 of 7 in the 4th quarter this year on 4th down situation. Tennessee, 2 4th down touchdowns.
You know, and he's just done it. I mean, this kid, you know, a redshirt freshman being able to stand in this type of a situation and do this time after time again. Well, here we go. I'm just going to watch this, baby.
Jim Bunwile, 7 of 11, will let you watch, and the crowd is going to let you know if he is good or not. And he is kicking right into the faithful from Tallahassee. This is the reason that Pat Dye didn't go for 2 points a while ago.
And Weil hits it. It hooks a little bit. But boy, like it had eyes. Right in the corner. Just inside. And keeps their national title hopes alive. Look at, he hits it. He's not sure. Yes, yes, yes. Van Weil's giving it all the work, but the holder gave it away. He was looking at the referee. and the coach.
Two seconds left in the ball game. Dickinson will kick it off for Auburn, and he will kick it on the ground. That has been recovered by Florida State, and that is the ball game. Let's go down to the field. Kevin Kiley with head coach Pat Dye. Kevin, if you can hear me.
Congratulations, Coach Pat Dye. A great win. Again, you come from behind. Herbert Casey, a brilliant game. Your defense played super.
Well, we came back and played well on defense the second half. Offensively, we really struggled all night long. Florida State had a great game plan. Played a lot better on defense against us tonight than they've been playing. But we made it difficult on ourselves at times, but I'm mighty proud of our football team and for hanging in there and believing in what we're trying to do and getting it done for us.
Coach, I got to ask you, were looking at a tie game there for a while.
I don't care. I did the best. What I did gave us the best chance to win.
And you won.
And we won.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Back upstairs, guys.
Kevin, thanks so much. Well, now for tonight's Visa Players of the Game. From Florida State University, Corey Barlow. We have him unofficially. Casey Weldon of Florida State, I beg your pardon. And from Auburn University, defensive player Corey Barlow. We had him unofficially for 15 tackles in the ballgame. So for Weldon and Barlow are Visa Players of the Game. And as part of their continuing effort to further the development of amateur athletics, Visa proud to donate $1,000 to each of these universities and $1,000 to the U.S. Olympic team on behalf of these athletes. Well, this is how it was won. Jim Von Weil. And the Auburn Tigers win by 3.
It has been said.
Where are you taking me? Where am I?
That if you die before
Once again, our final score, the Auburn Tigers 20 and Florida State 17. ESPN's presentation of college football continues next Saturday with 3 games. At noon, it's Ivy Day action with Brown versus Cornell. Then at 5 o'clock, we'll begin our CFA doubleheader with Penn State against Alabama, followed by number 6 Notre Dame against Pittsburgh. And now for Gary Danielson, Kevin Kiley, and our entire ESPN crew, I'm Ron Franklin.
Our thanks to Ron Franklin, and once in a while, a Pat Dye turns into a Pat Dye victory. And credits and kudos go to the head football coach who put himself in a position of once again being hammered by the critics with 3:57 remaining. And yes, there it is. Auburn beats Florida State, and the Sugar Bowl's heartbeat is pounding a little harder because they believe they have a shot for a national championship game. Tennessee out of the picture now for the national title after the loss to Alabama. But Lee Corso, I don't think there's any question. Pat Dye had said at the beginning of the week, if there was more than a minute to play, he would play for the tie at that point. And boy, did it pay dividends.
He was absolutely right. With 3:57, he had plenty of time to play good defense. Now their next problem, November the 3rd at Florida, Gainesville. They could beat Auburn.
One other point I'd like to make, Lee, relative to this game, the Bowden-Ruski that paid off against Clemson. Now it backfires. The game turned right there. They were leading 17-10, and they lined up and they ran the Bowden-Ruski.
Well, that'll happen every once in a while. It was a calculated risk. It didn't work. Remember the Clemson game. That's all he'll be remembered for.
Okay.